ounce of cookies, got me one with my couch. Made my own lane, they can't come for my route. You catch me running up them bitches, whole not running my mouth. And now they see me up doing everything I plan to be. No new niggas round here, this just my family. Tryna spread love, my life ain't got no vanity. Gotta cut ties if it ain't good for my sanity. Ain't gotta speak, they know what's top with me. I can't do no drama, I be tryna cop some property. Thinking that they hot shit, but it's funny cause they not to me. Talking all that pessimism, but that shit ain't got to me. My shit like prophecy, ain't hard to see it all my pockets. So, gotta pop my shit and clock my grip and keep my pockets full. These niggas be scary, I'm Chuck Berry, how I'm rockin', bro. And they know I'm bout my slide through Southside, how could I not be holding? Brody say he got another play for me, say less, I'm in route. Cause it's getting paper shit, the only type of shit I've been bout. And I'm praying faithfully, but you know I gotta let that sin out. And I gotta be cautious of the message that I'm trying to send out. Energy so positive, I'm positive they can't stop it. Gotta set my stop loss just to make sure that I take profit. Putting pack in the air, put a little bit of lemon all in my green tea. I'm living no limit, they know what it is right when they see me. They can't stop it. You ain't hit my phone up, hold on, come to my house. Quarter ounce of cookies, got me one with my couch. Made my own lane, they can't come for my route. You catch me running up them bitches, hold on, running my mouth. And now they see me up doing everything I plan to be. No new niggas round here, this just my family. Tryna spread love, my life ain't about no vanity. Gotta cut ties if it ain't good for my sanity. Ain't gotta speak, they know what's really poppin'. I'm shiny suit man, making them bands, they know I'm Diddy boppin'. Slap 10 in the tank, I had to stop and get them top papers. These niggas gon' see me out and act just like they not haters. I had to get it how I'm living, now I'm living well. Cause if you can't make a decent living, then you live in hell. They steady stuntin', I be trying to teach the youngest something. I got that shit to shake your windows, keep your bumper jumping. Later on I might just hit that venue, see what's on the menu. You tryna flex that shit that's on you, but this shit ain't in you. I'm about to book a trip to Aussie, tell a bitch get off me. Jet black and richer than your coffee, got me feeling saucy. Ain't talking power moves, you lost me, hold my time, be cautious. I'm sliding around my side like hockey, she gon' gag and gawk me. I'm dropping ashes on my slippers, kung fu in my kickers. Pulling in that cut, I'm sharp as clippers. Jacket with them zippers, strip her out her knickers. You ain't hit my phone up, hold on, come to my house. Quarter ounce of cookies, got me one with my couch. Made my own lane, they can't come for my route. You catch me running up them bitches, hold not running my mouth. And now they see me up doing everything I plan to be. No new niggas round here, this just my family. Tryna spread love, my life ain't about no vanity. Gotta cut ties if it ain't good for my sanity.
I'm thankful for family, I'm thankful for health, I'm thankful for the knowledge that I have and the struggles that I got over to be the person that I am today.
That's who's standing here today. The world heavyweight champion. Only one. And you're looking, oh girls, I can't stand it. Now I gotta talk, we all gotta be quiet. Nikita Koloff, we've only just begun. That's the end of it. Dusty Rhodes, don't ever make the mistake of sticking your nose in my business. If I'm down and out, I'll get up and take care of myself. So Dusty Rhodes, remember, when you walk out here, talking Ric Flair, don't think you can walk in that ring and give me a hand or try to help me out and ease the tension in our relationship. Philadelphia, I'm going to tear you up. Pensacola, Florida, when I get to town, we're going to treat all you women the way women ought to be treated. Because the NWA and some real men are going to take that Civic Center apart, and then we all going to be over a rodeo, driving the women wild. Miami Beach, Get ready. Woo! We are on tour, and we're doing it better than anybody else alive. Now, Buddy Landell, it's so hard for me to sit back here in this studio looking at a guy out here hollering my name when last year I spent more money on spilled liquor in bars from one side of this world to the other than you made. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. There's only one.
There is only one. I understand how my man Slick Rick felt that day when I think I was about 10 years old, when he say, it's so hard to sit back here listening to whoever saying my name when I spent more money on spilt liquor than you made last year. It's a funny thing about people saying your name when they can't measure up to that name. But y'all know what it is. Before I get into my spiel, let me do my usual greeting. Let me say God bless to my Christian brothers and sisters. Let me say hotep to my Kemetic brothers and sisters. Let me say shalom to my Israelite brothers and sisters. Let me say Islam to my Moorish brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum to my brothers and sisters in the NOI. Peace to my brothers and sisters in the nation of gods and earth, them 5%ers. Let me say what's up to my Abo brothers and sisters. Let me say salute to my atheist brothers and sisters, the normal atheist brothers and sisters, not y'all nuts out there that just make up stuff. And finally, let me say Jumbo to the rest of my brothers and sisters throughout the African diaspora, be it here in the wilderness of the United States of America or beyond. Now, y'all know what it is. I say that greeting for one reason and one reason only. It's because if you're black, I'm with you, and I hope you with me. Our different ideologies should not keep us from uniting. We can't have unity without uniformity, and we can't disagree without being disrespectfully disagreeable. Shout out to my brother Nobody in the building. Shout out to everybody. Come on, brother, fix your audio. Fix your.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear me. I can hear you, and I can hear me.
I don't know why you can hear you.
I don't know either.
When I put myself on mute, well, I can't hear you. I don't hear no echo. Hold up. Let me cut it on in the background, see if you echo on.
Hey, my brother made a good point. Shout out to my roster brothers and sisters. I gotta add them to the paradigm list.
Okay, I do hear echo. Let me cut it off. All right, that's probably me, bro. Well, hey,
yeah, man. Fix your audio, man. You want a professional outfit.
How do it sound now?
I mean, you sound good.
I'm saying, do you still hear yourself echoing?
I do.
I don't have none on no more. Everything is off. What about now?
I don't know. Yeah, still hear that echo. I don't know what's up, bro. I ain't heard that time. Shout out to my sister Neo in the building. I ain't heard that time, bro.
When I put myself on mute. No, when I put myself on mute, you can't hear the echo. Hold on.
I don't know, man. Well, while my brother get his audio together, Y'all see the title, Tell Me When I'm Telling Lies. So let's talk about it. So
all right, what about now? Let me know.
Let's see, testing. I don't hear nothing.
There we go. Well, if paradigm shift is on your screen, then you know what that means. Hey, man, shout out to everybody, man. Y'all know me. I'm nobody. I always trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save anybody. I'm on the show with my big bro, DMG, tonight, man. And like he said, we just trying to find out where he learned at. So I'm here for the moral support. Of course, I will be butting in and out. You know what I'm saying? Giving some feedback to my big bro. Big bro, let's jump into this show, man. I'm ready.
Yeah. Let's get into it, man. I just want to know. So historically, tell me when I'm telling lies, brother. Just stop me. And for those in the chat, y'all can tell me when I'm telling lies too, or at least when y'all think I'm telling lies, right? So let's talk about history. Let's talk about Christian history. Let's talk about this idea that Rome created Christianity. Now, whether you believe in Christianity or not is irrelevant to this conversation because we strictly talking about history. So this ain't about your belief. We're just talking about history. So I was talking to a brother today at the gig, truck driver, and he said that Rome created Christianity. And, you know, we had a long drawn out conversation about it. And I just came to the conclusion that the brother didn't really do a lot of historical reading. He did a lot of conspiracy theory, zeitgeist scholarship. And that's cool. You know what I mean? That stuff is crazy, interesting, and entertaining. But if you're gonna attempt to put some real information out, you gotta have some real history behind you. So let's just talk about the Roman Empire. We ain't gonna get into the Republic. So the Roman Empire started with a man named Octavian, who changed his name to Augustus Caesar once he became the first Roman emperor. The second Roman emperor, well, he was the first Roman emperor in the Julio-Claudian line. And if I'm saying that wrong, nobody, slap me upside my bald head. Now, this line had started with him, I believe, Tiberius, Claudius, Caligula, and it ended with Nero. Nero is notorious for accusing Christians of burning Rome. Now, what's important as it relates to Rome inventing Christianity is due to the accusation that they burned Rome, right? So the Flavians who came after Nero are credited in this zeitgeist scholarship. They credited with creating Christianity. I believe the notion is that they had Josephus come up with the Gospels and the New Testament, etc. Right now, after Nero died or committed suicide, it was, I believe, a 4-year period where it was a civil war. 4 men claimed to be emperor. Out of that rose the Flavians, and that's when they came to power. So it was a 4-year gap between the end of the Julio-Claudian line before the Flavian dynasty, which was a father and his 2 sons, before they took over. Again, they are credited with creating Christianity according to zeitgeist scholarship. The problem is, remember, Nero accused Christians of burning Rome. So how could these people who come into power 4 years later have created something that already had existed during the previous dynasty? Just from a timeline standpoint, it don't add up. I can see if they say if the notion was that Caesar Augustus created Christianity, or one of his following emperors like Claudius, Tiberius, Caligula, etc. But that's not the case. They put it on the Flavians. But Nero said that the Christians burned Rome, and thus began their persecution. So how can somebody create something that's already in existence prior?
Now, if I can butt in real quick, that's what's called.
Before you butt in, I just want you to tell me when I'm telling lies.
You being pseudo because everybody know Rome created Christianity, bro.
Okay, when did they create it?
They created Christianity when they stole the name from Serapis. You know, everybody know that Serapis followers was called Christians back then. So, you know, they just took their title. Everybody know that.
Wait a minute. So wouldn't that mean that Greeks created Christianity? Because ain't Serapis a Greek concept?
I mean, you know, tomato, you know.
So Greeks and Romans are the same.
According to this zeitgeist theology.
Got you. I get it. So moving on. I like that though, because somebody would say that.
Right.
Let's move up a little bit.
Hold up, before you do, y'all see how he's going through. This is proper research. This is 101. First, let me say that 101 in doing research. Timeline. Go ahead, DMG.
Yeah, and I'm just this just off the dome. Like I do history for fun, but let's move up a little bit. Let's get more current, right? Let's talk about Pan-Africanism. Because I see a lot of my Pan-African brothers and sisters, and I love Pan-Africanism, the Pan-African Institute. I'm subscribed. I take their courses, the whole demo, right? But what I find with my brothers in the current Pan-African movement is an anti-Christian sentiment, and I'm just curious as to why. Because when you look at Pan-Africanism in its early stages, you don't see an anti-Christian sentiment. So I would ask you, bro, when did this anti-Christian sentiment come about in the Pan-African movement, when we know all of the most prominent Pan-Africanists from its inception were Christians? So when did this come about where it became an anti-Christian movement? Because Marcus Garvey, who was probably the most famous Pan-African, was a Christian. But go ahead.
Due to my studies, man, a lot of people like to say that the hate for Christianity started coming in when the NOI started making more noise. You see what I'm saying? But like you said, with the Pan-African movement, with Marcus Garvey, that's before that. so
and the NOI is anti-African. So that's not a pro-African movement. They say that our nappy hair and wide noses and big lips are a curse. That our hair is supposed to be like the hair on our eyebrows. Yep,
that's what. It's funny. I just heard Farrakhan say that yesterday. Go ahead. Just said that.
So I just be wanting to know, like, when did these concepts come about, and do people think that they really continuing the legacy of Pan-Africanism by being anti-Christian? Because that would obviously be false. I just want, tell me when I'm telling lies, because if the most famous Pan-African, Marcus Garvey, was Christian, like the brother Rocky just put in there, who's an atheist, by the way, but who actually does real research and real study, so he can be honest about that.
Shout out to Rocky.
You got other people like what's my man name? Martin Delaney and others who were staunch Christians but were Pan-Africanists,
Mm.
who big upped ancient Kemet, but were staunch Christians and Pan-Africanists. Where did this anti-Christian notion come from? See, what I think, and this is just my theory, I think these people have fallen for the okie doke. I think they've been hoodwinked. I think they've been bamboozled. I think that not only did Plymouth Rock land on them, they set up camp in their heads, and they start buying into white supremacist rhetoric. Because it's no other explanation for it. Because let's fast forward a little more to the Black consciousness movement, right? Let's talk about my man Steve Bantu Biko, right? Now, he is widely regarded as the
person who coined
the term Black consciousness, right?
Mm-hmm.
But where did he kick that movement off? If you had to take a guess,
the church.
Say that again now.
The church.
You sure about that?
Yep.
Nah, but would you consider Encyclopedia Britannica a credible source?
Yes, sir, I would.
Okay. Let's see where it started. So okay. It says that Biko and his comrades joined the University Christian Movement, the UCM, which was formed in 1967. They remained declassified with the scope of the UCM's goals. However, they convinced a non-white caucus. They convinced that a non-white caucus was necessary, and they founded the South African Students Organization, which launched in 1969. Now, here's where we get to where some of our Black conscious brothers and sisters is gonna have a little bit of an issue, because I just want to make sure we clear on this. So check this out. Let me scroll down a little bit. Dang, it keep going down too far. My bad, y'all. It says that the Black church was key in starting the anti-apartheid Black conscious movement, which would empower and mobilize much of the urban Black population. Stephen Bantu Biko was an anti-apartheid activist in South Africa in the 1960s and 70s.
Hold on, where he was at? What?
South Africa.
Come on, let's go.
He was a student and is credited for starting the Black conscious movement. He has been called a martyr of the anti-apartheid movement. While living, his writings and activism attempted to empower Black people, and he was famous for his slogan, "Black is beautiful," which he described as meaning, man, you are okay as you are. Begin to look upon yourself as a human being. He was a dedicated and staunch Christian.
Mm.
Now, I just want to ask you this, bro, because how did the Black conscious movement become anti-Christian when it was founded by a staunch Christian?
I kind of find it funny because they always say things like, oh, Christians stole from us, Christians stole from us. And then now we looked at what you just read and the facts that just have been presented. And now we see not only back then, but right now, they took from Christians and put it into their own world. But again, I'm gonna have to go with the NOI, and I like what I don't know if it's a brother or a sister in the chat, Lone Wolf and Lions Club. They said they think that scholars like Dr. Ben and the Kemetic movement began the anti-Christian ideology in Pan-Africanism. I wouldn't say that they started it, but I would say, yeah, kind of right around that time that they would play a role in it. But I still go with the NOI.
Now, just for all my brothers and sisters in the chat, the BCM, the Black Conscious Movement, represented a social movement for political consciousness. Its origins were deeply rooted. I'm gonna read this one more time. The Black Conscious Movement, or the BCM, represented a social conscious movement for political consciousness. Its origins were deeply rooted in Christianity. In 1966, the Anglican Church, under the incumbent Archbishop Robert Selby Taylor, convened a meeting which later led to the foundation of the University Christian Movement, aka the UCM, under the leadership of Stephen Bantu Biko. I'm just saying. So again, the Black conscious community owes its name to Christianity.
Drop a bomb for that for yourself.
You understand what I'm saying? So let's stop. Let's stop and tell me when I'm lying.
Come on now. I ain't heard a lie yet, bro.
So I don't know what we talking about. Put some respect on Christianity name.
Come on.
Put some respect on the Black church name. You don't exist. You don't exist without the Black church.
At all. And if y'all never heard of that dude before, me over here on Paradigm Shift, we ain't like all them other platforms. Right now, while you listening, go type in the dude Stephen Knight. Go look this stuff up. Don't just be like, oh, I think DMG smarter than me, or oh, I think nobody's smarter than me, so I'm gonna just trust what they say. Go look it up. Half of these people in the conscious community have never even heard of Mr. Stephen, bro. They don't even know where the conscious community came from.
Hey, Lone Wolf. Yeah, they're gonna be mad because the truth hurt. They can't dispute these facts though. See, the truth hurt. It's time to stop. Like, believe whatever you want to believe. I don't care what niggas believe.
Yeah, stop lying.
Believe whatever you want to believe, but acknowledge this truth.
There we go.
And put some respect on my ancestors' name. See, we're gonna stop acting like our ancestors were some dummies when they was praising God and giving God the credit for them being able to liberate themselves. We gonna stop acting like this was just some random event, or like Abraham Lincoln was just so magnanimous that he bestowed freedom upon our ancestors. Like, what we talking about?
No, DMG, they just used the only tool that they had available at that time.
Yeah, no. We ain't playing that. We gonna tell the truth. Cause see, they could have easily said, I ain't rocking with this. But see, when they did that invisible institution and they was going out in the woods, risking their life to have church on their own. See, like, people got to stop playing. People so in their feelings about Christianity that they just start making stuff up and believing stuff that other people made up about your ancestors.
Your ancestors.
Put some respect on their name. They wasn't fools. They was actually geniuses, because they took what was in the Bible. They didn't believe what the oppressor told them. They didn't believe that slave Bible. So when they got a hold of the real Bible, they was like, oh, okay, now this makes sense. See, like we finna stop playing games tonight. So tell me when I'm telling lies that our ancestors had a revelation of God, and they used that to inspire themselves to get free. They inspired themselves to become businessmen and women. 80 years out of slavery, you had Black Wall Street and other Black cities all across this country. That and the only way they could be stopped is by evil, racist white people. We're gonna stop playing games. So you tell me when I'm telling lies. If Christianity is part and parcel of white supremacy, then tell me how come it was white Christians helping our ancestors gain their freedom in the Underground Railroad, risking their lives. Because if them white folks got caught helping them runaway slaves, their punishment was going to be worse than what the slaves got. Because, see, the slaves was considered property. They wanted them back. But them white folks going to die. Yep. So tell me where I'm telling lies. If something is part and parcel to white supremacy, why was white folks fighting for the freedom of black folks? And if white folks was fighting for the freedom of black folks, which white folks was really Christians? The one who wanted to keep our ancestors in chains, or the ones that was fighting for their freedom?
And not according to no feel-good message. According to the biblical text, which one of them was Christians? According to how the Bible says a person should act.
Hey, I just what we talking about?
What we talking about?
Because it seems like everybody have a brain freeze and forget about them white people who was actually abolitionists and was fighting for our people to be free. They forget about them. All you want to talk about is the people in the antebellum South that was oppressing our people. But what about the abolitionists who was saying this ain't what God wants?
That's a fairy tale.
That's made up?
That's made up.
John Brown and his sons didn't sacrifice their life for our ancestors? That's made up?
Yeah. And look at what Byron's saying in the chat. For people to sit up here and say, well, they only used the Bible because that was the only tool that they had available. No, Islam was around, voodoo was around, spiritualism was around. Like, all this stuff was still around, man. Harriet Tubman, a person who couldn't even read, she believed in the God of the Bible, even though she couldn't read. And she said that when she ran away her first time, she believed that she was talking to Yahweh. She said that when she came to a tree, or came to a river, or came to a bush, or came to a house, she said she spoke to the God of the Bible, and she believed that God told her to go left, go right, go straight, duck down, hide, get in the mud, get in that water. This is a person who couldn't even read, and she put all her credibility into the Bible to the point to where they call her the Moses in this mud, bro. What are y'all talking about, bro?
Ain't nobody. Tell me when I'm telling lies, right? Tell me when I'm telling lies. If Christianity was part and parcel to white supremacy, them white people who was helping, I'm talking about in the South and in the North as well, in Canada and everywhere else that was helping our ancestors get free, wouldn't have been, and they wouldn't have been able to go against their own doctrine.
Can't do it.
If it was part and parcel to white supremacy. See, what we see, if Christianity and the Bible was part and parcel of white supremacy, they wouldn't have had to make a slave Bible. They would have just used the Bible.
And took out 90% of the Bible. And kept all the verses, kept the verses out of context to make it say what they wanted to say. Like, slaves, obey your masters. One of the most prevalent things out here in this community, when they talk about slavery, they go to, hey, slaves, obey your master. Do y'all know that when y'all take that verse out of context, y'all agreeing with the same white supremacist ideology of that verse, who you claim is the devil or you hate? That's not the context of that verse, but when y'all say it that way, y'all agree with them, not us. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Bro.
You know, I'm surgical with this bitch, Jay. How you want it?
How you want it? Listen, all I want to know is if the Bible and Christianity is part and parcel of white supremacy, why they need a slave Bible? Make it make sense to me.
Why?
All you wannabe scholars, explain that. Because if the Bible and Christianity is part and parcel of white supremacy, you don't need a slave Bible. You can just use the Bible.
Just use a straight up Bible, bro. So you mean to tell me these white people back then are smarter than y'all conscious people today in order to know that this Bible isn't talking about what they want to do, so they had to alter the Bible just to make it fit what they wanted to do? Y'all mean to tell me that them back then smarter than y'all today and y'all got Google? Come on, man. Wake up, bro.
Neo, sis, you gotta you bugging. First of all, using something to justify your foul actions and the something that you use actually being created for that purpose is two different things. I can use something you said to justify whatever I want to justify. That don't mean that you said it for that purpose. So these people using Christianity to justify their actions don't mean that Christianity was meant for that purpose.
Let me ask you this, DMG. Did slavery exist before the Bible was written?
Absolutely.
Head off the snake right there. What are you talking about, man? When the Bible came on the scene, the Bible didn't invent slavery. The Bible didn't come up with slavery. Been going on. Y'all quick to say, "Oh, believe in this because it's older than the Bible." Well, guess what? Slavery is too. Like, wake up, man! What are y'all talking about?
And this ain't even got nothing to do with defending religion, because this ain't got nothing to do with religion. This is just facts. It's just facts.
Facts.
So again, if the Bible is part and parcel to white supremacy, why do you need a slave Bible?
Can somebody answer that, please? Honestly,
hey, TikTok. Why you need a slave Bible?
If the Bible says what they were already doing, let's just put it on the most elementary level. If the Bible says what they were already doing, why would they have to alter it? Like, come on, man. This elementary, man.
And I see my man Sutek. He say, does the Bible justify it? I assume he talking about slavery. So again, are you talking about the transatlantic slave trade?
Or you talking about servitude?
Like what we talking about? You and hey Sutek, you a smart dude. So what you talking about? Because I don't think the Bible had the transatlantic slave trade in mind. We gonna the Bible had a time machine, so it was what we talking about, man?
Come on, man.
What we talking about, bro?
Timeline, bro. Timeline, bro.
Man, we look. We gotta stop. Okay, so when you say does it justify slavery in general? What Paul say? There is no what? Nobody? Quote that for me.
There is neither male nor female. There is neither slave nor free. We are all one in the sight of Jesus Christ. Come on,
so tell me when I'm telling lies then. So
hallelujah, Jesus.
So what that mean?
Come on, man.
In context, nobody.
Bro, that means that all y'all are the same, man. Like, God see us all the same. Nobody over nobody. So how can somebody sit up here and say that I'm your master and you my slave? I'm talking about from the immoral standpoint of how they did our people in the transatlantic slave trade. We're not talking about, we ain't talking about servitude. We ain't talking about imprisonment. Like, come on, man. Y'all got to read stuff in context, man.
The answer is no. How could the Bible justify something that didn't exist when it was written?
Come on. Hold, Bianchi. Ain't what they did to our ancestors called the peculiar what?
Institution.
What does peculiar mean?
The world hadn't seen nothing like that before.
Come on now.
So whether slavery, servitude, or anything else, nobody had never seen nothing like that. You had people that owned slaves looking at them like, what the hell is they doing?
If you know the timeline of slavery, if you look at servitude, guess what? Certain people who sold themselves to people back in those times, they were living better than people who were free living on the streets. Like, you don't know what you're talking about, bro.
Check this out. Hey, my sister Neo. It ain't no contradiction. It ain't even hard to understand. People can make their mouth say anything. So yeah, a white man can say God said XYZ, but what do the Bible say?
Hold on, DMG.
What the Bible
example? 1 + 1 = 2, right? But if a person don't know how to add, and somebody who they think is smarter than them come to them and say 1 + 1 = 3, guess what? They gonna believe it too. So no, DMG right. It's not about what they did. What does the text say in context?
Listen.
Me and DMG just broke this down a while ago. You can go take that verse, slave, obey your masters. You can go take that verse out of the timeline the time and the context in which it was written and apply that to the transatlantic slave trade. But without the context, it seems like the white man was right when he told the nigger, sit down somewhere, when he was totally wrong, according to the context. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. We got to wake up.
I don't understand how we want to superimpose one thing over another. But see, we don't want to do that with nothing else. We don't do that with nothing else.
Jim G, not to cut you off again. There's a verse in the Bible that say, if you are a slave, which means servant or slave, whatever. If you are a slave and your slave master is treating you unfairly and you run away, it's telling you you can run away. If somebody finds you, they're not to take you back to your slave master. Even your slave master ain't even supposed to take you back. Why is that? At what point during the transatlantic slave trade or any time of our captivity over here in America to where a slave ran away and was caught by the neighbor, what point in time did they not take them back if they following the Bible?
Listen,
come on.
Listen. People gotta, that's just like my man Sutek say, remember y'all said this, and remember I never mentioned, we talking about the transatlantic slave trade. So whether you mentioned it or not, that's what we talking about.
We brought it up.
We're talking about the transatlantic slave trade in relation to the Bible. How is the Bible talking about the transatlantic slave trade? How the Bible talking about something that wasn't in existence when it was written?
Almost 2,000 years after.
So you an Israelite right now? Like what you gonna make the Bible be talking? Like I don't understand what we doing.
I don't get it.
I don't know why we talking about. If you want to talk about slavery in the Bible, we can talk about slavery in the Bible. We talking about the transatlantic slave trade, the peculiar institution. What do the Bible, outside of some racist, sick white people, what do the Bible have to do with it?
There we go.
Show me in the Bible where it justified the transatlantic slave trade.
For the people in the conscious community.
Don't show me where the Bible talk about slavery in antiquity and then try to superimpose that over the transatlantic slave trade. So then, you in the wrong conversation.
I was gonna say, let me catch you up real quick, bro. We're talking about the conscious community and how they try to use the Bible and say that it's, white supremacy and white supremacy ideology, or that it advocates for, slavery and all that. We're using the biblical text and showing you how back then what it meant compared to now, and then why the conscious community is wrong about them trying to use the Bible in that way. They are the ones who are agreeing with white supremacy when they break those scriptures down that way. They agreeing with white supremacy. They're not agreeing with black people. They're not agreeing with forget skin color. They're not agreeing with the Bible at all. For them to claim to be against white supremacy, how can you agree with white supremacy doctrine of the biblical text when the biblical text wasn't even written at the time when what we know is racism and white supremacy and all that? It wasn't even in existence. Catch up, man. Catch up. Go ahead, DMG.
Yeah, bottom line is you can't superimpose one context over another context and try to make it make sense just because you wanted to. You can't. So again, let's talk about, but since we own the transatlantic slave trade and Christianity, let's talk about how our people love to mistake somebody co-opting a religion, using said religion to justify their actions, as opposed to us looking at what the religion says. See, we like to just say Christianity is racist and Christianity is a white supremacist religion instead of just looking at the agenda of the people.
Hold up before you go through your fear, DMG, because I know what you said probably went over their head. I mean, some people head because you like to use big words. What he just said, and I want you to go on from this. What he just said was the person who invented the hammer to knock in nails. How can you blame that person when somebody take a hammer to hit somebody in the head and commit murder? Go ahead, DMG.
All I'm saying is we act like we don't know the difference between when a person do something and when a person try to use something to justify why they doing something. So why we don't know when it comes to Christianity, why we don't know the difference between people using it to justify their actions versus what the actual doctrine says. Can somebody show me in the Bible where it would justify what our ancestors went through? As opposed to these people trying to make it fit what they wanted to do. I just need somebody to show me that. It's a difference between what somebody tries to justify and what the doctrine actually says. Show me in the doctrine of Christianity where it justifies it. I'm waiting.
Don, 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 don. What's up to the Slim Reaper, man? I can't see the other person that's on here. What up, young Dre?
What's going on, bro? What's going on? Shout out to the panel.
Peace to the super team.
I was just gonna say that, dude.
as a certain somebody dubbed y'all.
Shout out to
Shout out to
DMG, can I talk a bit for a second? Can I say something?
The floor is yours, my bro.
Let me just see if I can
turn up your volume a little bit.
Let's see. How about now?
Keep going.
Let's see. How we sounding?
You good. Go in.
So here's what I'm gonna say. So I'm holding a glass in my hand, right? And so let's say that this glass was caused, for example, right? Let's say the glass has a material cause, and the material cause is the material from which it's made of. Let's say that it likewise has an efficient cause, whatever the tools were that we used to make the glass. That's the efficient cause. You have a formal cause, like it's basically what's the thing? What form did it take? The tools made something in a certain particular form. And you got the final cause, which is the end goal, the thing that we use this for. This is just Aristotle's four causes. There's some philosophers in the chat, and so they'll understand this. So given this four causes, the final cause is actually the specific intended purpose. So this was meant to be a drinking device, which is why I'm drinking out of it. Let's say I take this glass, which has been used commonly as a drinking device for thousands of years, and I hurl it at someone's head across the street. Am I using this glass properly, would you say, DMG? If I'm hurling it, like if I'm using it as a weapon, but it's a drinking object. When it was created, it was intended to be a drinking object. Am I using the glass properly if I'm hurling it at someone's head?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so you're telling me that the four causes I just listed, and specifically the final cause, the purpose of it, that's uninterrupted by my misuse. Is that what you're saying?
Say that one more time.
So the final cause, the purpose of this is uninterrupted by my misuse. So if they created this to be a drinking device, but I'm using it to throw it at people, that doesn't change that this is still a cup that's meant for drinking.
Correct.
Okay. So if Christianity, by analogy, was not created with such a purpose, this was not its original intent. This wasn't anything the founder said, had nothing to do with it. Not any parts, any tenets, was made up for such a fashion. Then how could a later misuse affect the final cause of Christianity, the purpose for which Christianity came?
That's all I want to know, bro. That's all I want to know.
Hey, look, you can use automobiles, right? It doesn't matter what you use. Like you can plug anything else in there, right? You say, hey, cars are, these are machines of oppression because people use them in drive-bys. You say, well, hang on, wait a second. But the vast majority of existing automobile, nobody's using cars for drive-bys. Say, well, yeah, but some people use cars for drive-bys. The cars, that's what it is. It's something that represents, our, collective oppression in the neighborhood, because people are shooting it. It's not how logic works. I'm sorry. So that's my spiel.
Yeah, and it seemed like
the Slim Reaper.
Everybody, because I'm gonna get to Byron in just a second. Everybody act like we are so supremely intelligent, right? We scholars and we do all this research and we know this and we know that and all of this, but we can't look at the doctrine and say there's a difference between what the doctrine says and what these people did. Now our ancestors apparently were fools because, but they were able to see that it's a difference between what they saying and what they doing and what this book says. But they was the ones that was fools. Well, I just want to point that out. They were fools, but they were able to see that the enslavers was on some BS, and what they were saying didn't add up to what was in that book. But go ahead, Byron.
Oh man, I'm just saying peace to everybody, man. I'm sitting here listening. I got my baby girl here, so if you hear some cooing or some whining, you know, I got my almost 3 months here. And next, you listen to daddy hearing his foolishness. No, but I just, you know, I'm not as astute as the great Slim Reaper when it comes to the logic, but you know, it's a few things I gotta say, man. You know, we love to play. Black folks love to play dummy when we want to play dummy, right? Like we talk about, you know, I'll bring up a topic. We'll bring up slavery, Africa and slavery, right? The slave trade. You know, Africans sold Africans in the slave trade. Oh, but we got all the nuance to fine tooth that comb. Like I said, well, actually, what it was is this. You know, this system was already existing, and Europeans came in, and it wasn't like Africans. So you know, there was tribal war. All that's true. We know how to nuance all of that, right? Like, and that's cool. I agree with that. That's 100% true. But then when we say, well, the transatlantic slave trade, the peculiar institution, was not what the Bible speaks about when it talks about slavery or servitude. Oh, y'all just trying to make excuses. Y'all just trying to justify the contradictions of people, etc.
Come on, Bob.
Like, wait, hold on. So we can play smart over here, right? Like we can do all the nuances. We can do all the fine tooth combing on this end. But when we get to this end, which our ancestors are, as y'all stated, already did hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Now all of a sudden we gotta just say no, it just teach that. And what I was saying in the chat is that, you know, our ancestors, both in America and those still on the continent, fought against slavery, right? And said it was wrong. It was not a moral, human, or Christian value. They fought against that, right? But
right.
And then other white folks, right? During that time said the same thing over and over and over. Even today, people always talk about, oh, well, you know, the Roman Catholic Church, they did XYZ, and I'm not taking them off the hook. But if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it was Pope John Paul I, or maybe the second, or one of the other ones. They stated that not only was it atrocity, that they were wrong, that they preached the wrong type of gospel, that and similar statements from the Anglican Church and other churches as well too. What I'm saying is that if white folks today in the last 100, 200 years said that their ancestors were wrong, had the wrong doctrine, bastardized the text, admit that. Black folks been saying this. Globally, it's been acknowledged. Why are we still trying to say
what else do you want?
Well, where's the contradiction at? Well, what you talking about? You siding with the people that enslaved your ancestors, because even the descendants of the people that enslaved your ancestors say, yeah, our ancestors was wrong.
Hey, man, listen, I watched Many Rivers to Cross with Henry Louis Gates. The brother was sitting there interviewing, and anybody can watch this. You can watch it on YouTube, but it was a PBS publication, Henry Louis Gates Jr. This publication sitting there talking to the brothers in Africa. He's standing on the continent, and he's talking to them. He's like, how many of your families got wealthy off of the sale of slaves? You know, your hands go up around a little surface of you, and they talk about it openly. But you can go ahead, Byron.
No, I mean, it's just, you know, again, I don't understand why this specific narrative still exists or being pushed, because it literally, you are literally siding on the side of people.
Hey, Byron, give me 1 second, bro. Did somebody block Neo?
No, it looked like the messages started getting deleted.
Yeah, I didn't.
I personally, if I was gonna vote, I'd say Byron. I don't know, but
I don't even know how to do it. That's the crazy.
All right, go ahead, y'all. Let me straighten this up.
Yeah. Please get in.
Byron, can we pause it for just a second? Can we go basic? So I'm a little slow, so let's go a little basic, right?
Yeah.
Is it not basic to I don't know? Let's say you send a text message to your wife, for example, right? Would it be safe to assume if I stumbled upon your text message that you meant something specific by what you sent?
Yeah.
Okay, and so let's say I wanted to understand your particular text message that you sent.
Mm-hmm.
So if rule number one is that you meant something by what you meant, it's like, should I not try to understand what you meant in interpreting the text message? Right?
You should.
Like, so then what if I come along, right, and I say, what if I'm somebody and I come along and I don't care about what you meant with the text message? If I misuse your text message, or not misuse, because let's say I don't think there's any particular meaning to it, is that going to get me like any sort of like real understanding of what, like if you say, hey, take the fish out the freezer, and I say he meant he was going to like whack her with a stick later on that night, right? Like it seems to me that you tell me if I'm wrong, that I should be looking for what the author of a particular text intended when they wrote. Is that am I missing something?
I'll give you one better. This past Tuesday, my wife and I just celebrated our wedding anniversary, right?
Congratulations.
Send a message, as you know we do, and I sent a message to him to say, hey, once get out of work, we get the kids straight, it's about to go down, right? Mm-hmm. Send it to my wife. If anybody else stumbles upon it and doesn't know the context, doesn't know who I sent it to, anything like that, and I'm just using the phrase, it's about to go down, you could think like, what's about to go down? Like, is the house about to go down? Is the shooting about to go down? Like, is he about to fall down? Like, what is he talking about? But if you don't know, and even if you are, say, another woman, right, and you get that, and you stumble upon my text message, is he talking to me? It's about to go down? No, that's into one particular person on a particular day. That's extremely special and important to us. That message means something, right? And so unless you do the homework to look at the context of the message, what is intended for, what's it meant for, who was sending it and why, and who was the reception of it. I'm not saying that other people can't understand it, but I'm saying is that you need to know, okay, this is me. This is a husband sending something to his wife on their wedding anniversary in regards to something that marital couples do, right? So, and with all that, right, and going back to the whole slavery thing, again, scripture literally says man stealing and servitude for the life of the person is illegal and against the law. Even in whatever form of slavery you want to put into the Old and New Testament, there is no dehumanization. There is no for the rest of your life and your ancestors' lives that you are forced into this. There is no denial of even the ability to get free. We ain't gonna talk about the year of the Jubilee, right?
We ain't gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the actual ability that maybe can I earn my freedom or anything like that, or getting really treated. None of that, right? So we just gonna skip over that and say, it just says these similar terms. It just says slavery, and Leandro, you know better than me. You can take it to the Hebrew and the Greek and the different meanings of what you can use by the English term slavery and what the context means. It'll knock that all out the water. But these people ain't about to do that.
Well, yes, see, so that's why I said.
Young Grand Byron, y'all already know y'all doing y'all thing, bro. We didn't have the man jump on the panel, man. We got BK apologists in the house, man. I want to let BK get a couple of words in before we go in.
Make sure you answer the question on the screen too, Big Fredo.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, BK apologists, bro? What's good?
What's going on? Peace. So I've shared this before, but since we're talking about this again, did the ancestors know the difference, right? How about we actually listen to the ancestors to see what they said, right? That would be a good thing, right?
There we go.
So can I share my screen?
Yes, sir. DMG, you in here? I believe it's already set up, DMG. Is share on already? Okay.
Can you share my screen, sir?
To answer the question, if someone want to know the text I sent to my wife, because I made it public and I made it for the world to see, that still doesn't mean you get to interpret it outside of what you know, the intent was.
Yeah. The question really wasn't relevant to the point that was
Like
made.
real talk.
Are you
What's
sure?
good, Bob?
No, I don't see anything. Wait, what do I see? Wait, hold up. Am I looking at the wrong thing? No, I don't see anything.
BK,
Yeah,
you ain't that old, are you?
I was about to say I don't see it.
Oh, you want me to? Okay, wait.
How old is BK? I'm concerned.
You're a funny guy.
You know what?
Yeah, you gotta share it for me, DMG.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't see anything to share.
Share.
Oh, my bad.
DMG,
No, I'm so
share,
used to being on this side. Wait. My bad.
There's no U in share, DMG.
Hey man, I'm from St. Louis.
All right, it's there. Yeah, share it.
Oh, y'all don't start. Not tonight.
All right, here we
We
go.
on the same thing.
This is
Hey,
from.
no. We can still fight.
Yeah, see, I know, and that's why I got to be the referee. Not tonight.
Listen.
We're doing the best.
Hush. This is from Lit Young, enslaved in Mississippi and Texas. He says she built a nice church with glass windows and a brass cupola for the blacks and a yellow man, light-skinned black man, preached to us.
Hey,
she had him preach. She had him preach how we was to obey our master and missy if we want to go to heaven. But when she wasn't there, he came out with straight preaching from the Bible. They knew the difference. What about yes?
You mean tell me they was able to tell when somebody was trying to twist it?
Yes, sir.
That's great. Okay, go ahead, man.
But they wasn't that smart because they couldn't read. BK. They couldn't read.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question real quick before you read this?
Yes, sir.
So I wouldn't necessarily categorize them as fools, would you?
I would not, sir.
Thank you.
Here's another person who wasn't a fool by the name of Claiborne Gatling, enslaved in Georgia. Before freedom, we always went to the white churches on Sunday with passes, but they never mentioned God. They always told us to be good niggas and mind our misses and masters.
Okay, hang on a second.
Sure.
Christianity is the belief, in this one God who sent his son.
Yes.
For the redemption. Okay, so you mean tell me they wasn't talking about that, and they was
now where he was going.
Quick follow up. Also, can you show me the chapter and verse where it says to be good niggas and mind the misses and masters? I need to find that.
That's in Second Opinions chapter 4 verses.
It's over there. It's over there somewhere.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah.
It's over there.
All right, here we go. This is Sarah Douglas. She was enslaved in Alabama.
Come on, Miss Douglas.
We went to the white folks' church. So we sat in the back on the floor. They allowed us to join their church whenever one got ready to join or felt that the Lord had forgiven them of their sins. We told our determination, this is what we said. I feel that the Lord has forgiven me for my sins. I have prayed, and I feel that I am a better girl. I belong to Master so-and-so, and I am so old. The white preacher would then ask our Mr. Master that what they thought about it and if they could see any change. They would get up and say, I notice she don't steal, and I notice she don't lie as much, and I notice she works better. Then they let us join. We serve our mistress and master in slavery time and not God. They would get up and say, I notice she don't steal, and I notice she don't lie as much, and I notice she works better. Then they let us join. We served our mistress and master in slavery time and not God.
Wow.
Kind of bring a truth to your eye.
I'm surgical with this bitch, Jay. How you want
to? Okay.
What about Margaret Nicholson, who was enslaved in Florida?
What about her, BK? Let's go.
She said, we had church with the white preachers, and they told us to mind our master and missus, and we would be saved. If not, they said we wouldn't. They never told us nothing about Jesus.
Okay, I have a quick doctrinal question. Because I ain't really read the Bible like that, so I'm trying to figure this out. The Bible is somewhere it says that if you don't obey your master and missus in the chattel slave system where you were kidnapped from home, that you wouldn't make it to heaven. It's somewhere in there. Can somebody help me figure out?
I already brought that up. Leon, I brought that up earlier, man.
It's somewhere in there. I can't remember where it is, though.
Hey, Craig, real quick, y'all, just a second. Craig, let my brother, who are in the psychological shackles of his own making, comment all he wants to, as long as he's not disrespectful, because he said that we don't have sources. but this is from the very people who experience this. See, he could bring all the white scholars he want to bring. He can bring all of them. But we talking about the people who actually had these experiences. We getting their testimony. So let the brother comment all he want to. It's all good. Because it ain't gonna change nothing.
So here we have Bert Luster, who was enslaved in Tennessee.
Come on, Bert.
He says there was a lot of talk about conjure, but I didn't believe in it, because them darkies could do everything to one another and have one another scared, but they couldn't conjure that overseer and stop him from beating them near to death.
What I told you. What I told you. What I said in the chat earlier. All that
primary source, like the brother Nagiti in the chat saying, man, what BK Apologist is reading tonight is called primary sources. Like, I know now a lot of people try to bring up the word primary and secondary. Like, I know y'all should know that y'all got that from Brother Berean Channel, who is a Christian. And what BK Apologist is doing tonight, he's showing you a primary source. A primary source is a person that was there, that was right there in the mud, getting it in with it, man. So who voice is better? Is it the primary source, the person who there, or somebody you hearing right now in 2023 on YouTube?
Oh, BK, before you go, quick question.
Yes, sir.
For the chat and you as well. Can you have a rightly Christian service of any kind and not speak about God or Christ? Like,
yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
No, I mean, you're getting together for that purpose, to worship God.
Well, I don't know if that's true, because if you go back to the beginning, right, to at the beginning of the Christian church, they never talked about God or Jesus back then, did they?
Yes, they did. In fact, one of the earliest creedal statements that we find in 1 Corinthians was crystallized 8 to 12 months after the crucifixion.
Okay, hang on. So the church been taught. So hang on, just so I'm understanding. No, DMG, I'm a little slow. I don't, you know how I get sometimes. I get a little flustered. I'm just trying to make.
Yeah.
So from the beginning, if I'm understanding BK properly,
yes,
the preaching of Christ has been central to the mission of the church.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so they talk about God and Christ is God incarnate. All that's this. They've been on this stuff. The
scriptures themselves says faith comes from hearing.
Okay,
that's where it comes from.
Follow with that, because I'm not a Paulinist or anything like that. But if I'm not mistaken, does he say something like we preach Christ crucified?
Yes.
I
remember too, Paul. One time he was talking about even people who was preaching just out of spite for him, and he said, he's okay with it as long as Christ is preached. Was that right?
So that would infer that they were talking about Jesus.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. And so it kind of sounds like, I don't know, and it may be tripping. It sounds like preaching about God and Christ and a God who sent his son to die to atone for the death of sinners. That's been like from the beginning, and and that
day
was
one.
Okay,
day one. So now
let me ask you, hold on real quick, BK.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Can you address this question that's on the screen real quick for me?
Let's see. If you brothers need Abrahamic doctrine to cultivate yourselves to betterment, I will never begrudge you of that. You cannot pass up words of various men as divine words of the Creator. Right. So all these enslaved ancestors, they were just fairy tales, right? All the people that I'm quoting right now, they just, it's fictions they were believing in.
Can I make a comment on that real quickly before you go, BK?
Sure.
I got one after.
First, okay. This idea, because this is often this idea of just because I think they think this is a diss saying Abrahamic doctrines. If you look at the history of the church in Africa, because y'all know that's my thing. Right. You never hear that term Abrahamic doctrines, Abrahamic faith. In fact, they believe that it is a fulfillment of the faith that they are of the spiritual systems that they already subscribe to, of getting back to the Creator. If you look at a lot of their doctrines, right? And so they don't have this separation of Abraham is not one of a foundational pillar of spiritual faith, and and a kinsman, right? Like they don't have this separation of what we call, y'all want to learn that Abrahamic faith. That's not something germane to Africa. That actually comes in, I want to say around 19th, maybe 18th century when they start to delineate the term Abrahamic religions in mostly Germanic Europe. But again, we don't see that doctrine or that phraseology anywhere in Africa or Asia for that matter. So I'm just kind of wondering why we continue using the phrase, if we call ourselves pro-black and pro-African, we're using phrases that don't pertain to our people, both here and on the continent, and those of our kinsmen in Asia. Like they never use that phrase. So I'm just wondering why are we continuing to use these terms that, for lack of a better word, black folk they never use. That's interesting.
Right.
Okay, so
yes.
Just out of curiosity, so just and to the last brother's comment, not whose comment was up here about not being able to pass off the words of various men as words from the Creator. So I'm going to call you on a fallacy on that because he says, but you cannot pass off the words of various men as the divine words of a Creator. And I'm going to call you on a fallacy on that one because I'm going to ask you, your criteria is what? This is based on what? What's the criteria that you have for the way that a Creator would have to speak? So if a Creator decides to use any means, so let's just say if I'm
don't get them started.
I'm the Creator, I pre-exist, I'm preeminent, I'm here before you were ever even thought of, right? Who are you to constrict me and tell me how I can communicate my message? Let's just in that perspective, let's say I'm the Creator. Let's say I did. How could you tell me how I could speak? And so when you say it, you sort of seem to say that it can't be the words Creator because he spoke through men. Based on what? Did you get this from your Creator handbook? Like creators don't do it this way? So maybe you could substantiate that, that sort of claim that you make to where you're saying that it therefore is not the words of Creator because he spoke through various men. What if that's the way? What if God from the beginning has always partnered with mankind in order to get his message out? What if God are his representatives in the earth? What if mankind is made in God's image specifically to represent him in his rule and kingdom and dominion here on the earth? And so what if he uses men to get his message out to other men? So your retort to that would be what? Like open the Creator's handbook and tell me how he would have to speak. Tell me where this comes from because I don't accept the premise.
All right, Leo. We're going to let BK Apollo just get back to the points that he's making, but just within this hour and 12 minutes, look at the brothers that y'all have just heard who are contending for the faith, man. Come on, man. If y'all want to go academia, y'all want to go education, y'all want to go just regular people, everyday average man, Brent, you got all these brothers on the panel, man, and we all Christians. We all believe in Christ. We all come from a different walk of life. We all got different missions and purposes and all that, right? We all Christians, and guess what? We all black, man. So
hey, once BK get done, I want to address Neo's question. Whoever wanted can take it. She been asking this for a while. So,
I'm going to be done right now. This is the last quote I'm going to share. Many of us know who this is. This is Frederick Douglass, and this is what he says. I find, since reading over the foregoing narrative, that I have, in several instances, spoken in such a tone and manner, respecting religion, as may possibly lead those unacquainted with my religious views to suppose me an opponent of all religion. To remove the liability of such misapprehension, I deem it proper to append the following brief explanation. What I have said respecting and against religion, I mean strictly to apply to the slave-holding religion of this land, and with no possible reference to Christianity proper. For between the Christianity of this land and the Christianity of Christ, I recognize the widest possible difference. So wide that to receive the one as good, pure, and holy is of necessity to reject the other as bad, corrupt, and wicked. To be the friend of the one is of necessity to be the enemy of the other. I love the pure, peaceable, and impartial Christianity of Christ. I therefore hate the corrupt, slave-holding, women-whipping, cradle-plundering, partial, and hypocritical Christianity of this land. Indeed, I see no reason but the most deceitful one for calling the religion of this land Christianity.
Grand opening, grand.
Is there no one else?
Bro. Okay, hold up. bro.
Is that no one else?
I just wanted. What more can I? What? Go ahead, man.
His words were the soundtrack to that music you just played.
Like I don't understand, bro. Like, listen,
I don't get it.
Again, if Christianity is part and parcel to white supremacy,
come on,
why did they need a slave Bible? Leandre, you the logic.
Hold on,
you the logic guy.
So Leandre, go.
You the
BK
logic guy.
Apologist. Hold up. BK Apologist just dropped the mic so much so as to what he said is irrefutable that he out of here.
No doubt. Leandre. So yes. I want you to make that make sense for me, and then look at the screen and answer that question for me. So now
to the chat, please, y'all don't try to fallacy and logic arguments with this man. Please don't do it.
Come on,
no, Byron.
Don't do it.
Byron, I want them to do it. I want them to do it. I want them to do it. Listen. I want them to do it. This is the whole point of the brother hitting the link. So Leandre, if Christianity was part and parcel to what we consider white supremacy, to the subjugation of our people, couldn't they have just used the Bible proper instead of creating a slave Bible? Wouldn't it make sense for them to just use the Bible?
Yeah, it would make perfect sense. If it's going to accomplish all the specific purposes, then what would you change it for? And so the only reason to add or subtract something, it seems to be because of there's some lack of sufficiency or lack of efficiency, for the way that it's presently composed. And so if he's having to take things away, it's because certain things are going to interrupt, whatever that end goal is. So you say, hey, we can't get to the moon with all of this weight on us, so we have to cast some stuff off, because in order to get where we're going, we have too many things weighing us down. Otherwise, what's the point of changing it? The old folks used to say something, they wasn't too dumb. They said, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So if this was accomplishing the purposes that they had so intended, then why couldn't you leave the parts in there about, the year of Jubilee, where you'd be released from manumission? Or like, why did those things have to be taken out? Why was there only specific things that were left in there, ripped from their complete context? And so if you're going to have to take something out of context, I'm not, it doesn't really say that, that you're truly doing justice to what it is that you're presenting. And now, so I know what the definition of no true Scotsman fallacy is. It's actually a variation of the death by 1,000 cuts fallacy, death by 1,000 qualifications fallacy. That's not what we're saying here. It is a major tenet of Christianity that's even in scholarship, that there is supposed to be a life change that happens when a person is a true believer in the faith. It certainly is not a free-for-all. Like if I said that, that someone is not a Los Angeles Laker, and then I mentioned the roster, that wouldn't be the case. If I said they don't meet the other qualifications, the person's amputee, all these other reasons why they couldn't possibly be a Los Angeles Laker at present state, that's not a no true Scotsman fallacy. Informal fallacies are sensitive to the subject matter at hand. Christianity is a particular religion where Jesus Christ said himself that you'd be known by your fruits. If you're not going to go tell me that when my religion says, hey, the people who are going to be in our little club here, they're going to look and act and dress and do things like this. And then if I say, hey, well, they don't fit the criteria, well, that's not a no true Scotsman fallacy. The no true Scotsman fallacy, is well, no true Scotsman, would drink before noon or whatever it is. That is that kind of thing. It's completely arbitrary standards that are thrown out there in order to try to save that person from criticism, or to save whatever it is from criticism. No, so that's a complete and utter misuse of the no true Scotsman fallacy.
And let me put this out there. So I know Sabio was in the chat. If you're still in the chat, Sabio, I wanna make this clear to you. Me and your disagreement ain't had nothing to do with what I believe. My brother shared my content to your chat, and you act like a child because of the subject matter. I've big upped you, and I've big upped your channel. I even made you a logo without you even asking. I don't know if you ever used it or not, but I did it because that's what I do, and anybody can ask you. Like, Leandre, did I not randomly just make you a logo and a promo? Just
yeah, Yeah,
But
I didn't ask. You just did it. A long time ago, you did it.
Because when I rock with people, that's what I do for fun. So again, you ain't got to say you ain't asked me to do it because I know you didn't. I did it because I actually rock with you. So my point is, at the end of the day, you didn't want my content in your chat. My content, of all people, regardless of what was on it. And you pitched a fit, you start calling me retarded and all kinds of other stuff, and all I had to do was play the tape. You said you had more knowledge in your pinky than I had in my brain, and clearly that ain't the truth. So, brother, I will personally debate you on any topic in Christian history that you want. I will have nobody debate you on any topic in Christian history that you want, because me and him petty enough to do it. Leandra and Byron ain't gonna lower themselves. So at the end of the day, if you want the smoke, you can come get the smoke. And
I love my bro, man.
If you don't want to do it on my platform, we can do it on the neutral platform. The whole effing show. Craig is a hell of a moderator. Either one of them. So we can do it on Garfield platform. If you don't want it, we ain't got to do it over here. And we damn sure ain't doing it on yours because I actually want people to see it. So if you want the smoke, you can have the smoke. But don't be acting like a victim. Talking about I wanted you to kiss my butt because I was a Christian. No, I didn't. I just thought that we'd still be brothers because I was a Christian. I didn't know you were so ass hurt about Christianity that you would turn on me and start throwing your little shots. But see, I'm good with it now. Because at first I was like, damn, nigga, he kind of tripping. But I'm good with it now. You want an enemy? You got one.
There goes Sabio. There goes Sabio comment.
Yeah, so yeah, okay, you say we not going on none of them shows. So you got a problem with Garfield show? Because you be on there licking boots.
He said he want all the smoke.
Okay. So since I'm a weakling, come and get the smoke, my nigga.
You are the smoke, P.
Hey, my nigga, I am the smoke, and I'm happy to make you look stupid. I will make you look stupid here, there, and everywhere, nigga. We can get Dr. Seuss with it. But look, hey, listen, man, I really don't want to do it to you.
Yeah.
But I will. So,
but I just want to say, DMG, you said it, bro. You said it, DMG. You said it. I got you. DMG, you said it.
Yeah, I got a headhunter for you. See, Sabio, I actually got friends that'll get their hands dirty so mine can stay clean.
No, DMG.
I ain't gotta get filthy. I ain't gotta get filthy and roll in the mud with you, my nigga.
Come on. You said it.
I ain't gotta get dusty with you. Like the little dude. You reminded me of the little dude on Charlie Brown that the dust follow around at this point. And let me move on, man.
That's what I just said, bro. You already said it. But I do want to make one thing clear. DMG, let it be known. Wait, DMG, wait. I gotta say this.
Hey man, stop walking up this tree before I fall on you, boy.
DMG, you know I got you, bro. Come on.
Fall on you, my nigga.
Come on, DMG. Come on. Hold on, wait, Sean. Wait. Go ahead, DMG, let it be known that me and him is petty, but I have to let it be known I am petty. Now, Leandre more petty than me in the name of Christ. So I just gotta let it be known. I just gotta let it be known.
Talking about your ancestors was fools.
Because I love about the day. And Leandre let me know how far I can go. Cause I be like, cause I be want to go. And when I see him go, hey. So I just had to say that for myself, yeah, because I am petty, just like DMG said. I am admitting to that. I'm accepting that, but I ain't leaving out that my brother Leandre.
Let me say this.
The only smoke that nigga want is that cheap weed he be smoking. Don't play like, hey man.
Hold on, dude.
Stop, DMG. Stop, DMG. Come on, I got you.
Hey, look.
Come on, dude. Come on, bro.
Right quick. Let me get this.
Come on, DMG.
Let me get this out.
Go ahead, Byron.
Reading the chat, man. And this is the disheartening fact. I'm seeing people say stuff, still repeating the Abrahamic religion stuff, still saying, Jesus didn't exist and stuff like that. Look, as y'all hear me say this all the time, even if you don't believe in the Christian faith or whatever, like some things in academia, like there's a general consensus on. Like if you don't say he existed, like that is fringe pseudo scholarship. Like even the most staunch atheist will acknowledge.
He's talking. Wait, Bob. He's talking about experts, y'all. He's not talking about people that sit around at the barbershop or even people like us that sit around on YouTube. He's saying from the experts, man. The experts, the general consensus is what? Go ahead, Byron.
The people who got multiple PhDs and doctorates in these subjects, who do conferences all over the world on this type of stuff, who write academic papers to get critiqued and gone through on this stuff. And what I'm saying is that we can't continue this sidewalk scholarship of just like, oh, I don't like it because I don't believe it existed. Well, what's your methodology of understanding why it didn't exist? Oh, well, I read this book by this one author, and I'm like, that's not scholarship. That's proof texting authors. Like you have to have a methodology for that claim. If you're going to go against a consistent, you're going to be on the fringe and pseudo side of it, and be willing to stand and say, yeah, I'm on the fringe side of scholarship. Right, but what we do is we get on these chats and just start saying stuff, and like y'all know how I feel. Like I hate black people looking stupid, and we look stupid because people can look like why am I gonna take them serious? Because they still they debating stuff that we didn't that people long then already came to consensus.
They didn't settle it.
Who don't believe in the Bible? Who don't believe in Christ? They literally say, yeah, he existed.
Man.
Using terms that, again, y'all pro-black and pro-African, but y'all continue to use terms that were used to segregate and subjugate our people, right? Using Abrahamic religions, and y'all using like, bro, what is y'all doing? Like, come on, man, like
hey,
get better.
Come on.
I want to know something, y'all. Like when somebody call you weak and ain't strong enough to lift a washcloth to their face, are you supposed to take them serious?
Oh, my bad. I'm supposed to have been on mute.
That's a serious question. If somebody call you a weakling and they ain't strong enough to lift a wet washcloth to their face, are you supposed to take them serious?
DMG, that was so rhetorical, bro. You can't do nothing but laugh, bro. That was so rhetorical, bro. Man,
man, stop playing with me, man.
Stop playing. Stop, please.
Is Sabio still perusing KKK websites trying to find out if the Bible was called Helios Biblos?
No, Leon Gray. He went to Blog Talk.
Well, he was a blog talk, but he went to an Aryan Nation blog because this is a researcher. This is listen. I got video evidence of it, brother. He was on.
I know.
What does this mean? Real quick.
Wait. Let me read it.
I call read. What that mean?
What? Carly B.
DMG.
I can't read though. Hey, Sabio.
You found that site where you can find that picture of Tertullian. Back when we had when we had that picture of like I got a picture.
Bro, they have Polaroids back then, bro. You think? Listen.
Look at
man. Listen, man.
Hey, matter of fact, wait, Sabio. Richard Carey told you AD stands for what? What did he tell you? AD stands for antediluvian, right? Can you put Rocky's question up?
Where Rock at? Hold up. Let me throw Rock the link. I'm about to inbox you the link. Hold on.
What's the question?
So what he says, I'm trying to scroll back and find out. But he said, can Leandro be? Okay, let me see what the question was.
Super team.
He said, was the myth of Prester John why the Portuguese ventured deeper into Africa?
Well, you can go ahead, Leandro.
Well, yes. So what I would say is I guess I would wonder what you mean by venture deeper to Africa, because most all of the Europeans that I know of stayed specifically along the coastline of Africa. It wasn't until the 1800s that they ventured deeper. And Henry Louis Gates Jr. actually in his article Stopping the Slavery Blame Game actually touched on this particular subject, that Europeans weren't really penetrating deep into Africa, mostly because they didn't know anything about it. And the article that Henry Louis Gates, the historian, the Black and African historian, was talking about specifically he was talking about how Africans came from the interior and they came out to the slave posts and stuff. or how they ended up on ships, and you know who sent them, you know, how they got to the coast of continental U.S. And ended up being sold there to factors. So I guess I would ask for clarity on what you mean by penetrating, you know, sort of deeper in, because as far as I'm aware, most of those slave posts were all the slave posts that I know of, they were all along the coast. And Byron can correct me if I'm wrong, but
I was gonna say, like, when it comes to either colonization or even their missions, based on their own history, they never went into the interior of Africa. They just didn't have the means or the wherewithal. They typically stayed along the coast, and went around. There's a great book called the Catholic Church, Tropical Africa, which talks about the savannah, how the Portuguese in particular couldn't get into the savannah. They had no knowledge of the interiors of Africa. They had maps of the idealized Prester John, but you look at their maps, they really extended what they believed to be the kingdom of Ethiopia or Aksum, was inaccurate, right? But they just didn't have the knowledge. So I would say
on the east side.
Yeah, way on the east side. So I would say they just didn't have the means to even go in as a motivating factor to go in the interior, which when they did eventually go, based off of all the evidence, they were surprised to find, and y'all know how I've said this over and over, to find that they were already African Christians in the interior. They had no knowledge of it, because to their knowledge, they believed that they hadn't penetrated, as far as their records are concerned, into interior Africa. And when they finally talked to those Africans, they talked about how they got their this faith tradition from, you know, what we would call today the Coptic Nubians and different Berber tribes, going into the interiors of Africa, so on and so forth. So again, I don't know. I don't think that would have been a motivation factor, because they really would. They would, at that time, they would have just gotten eaten up if they ever tried to go to interior Africa.
Yeah. So yeah. But for Rocky, I look forward to, we can discuss some of the sources. DMG, do you see the question there that says, it says, wait, where did it go? Okay, so I see the Nerdy Bruce. It's the genealogy genesis per the scholars determine them as tribes by progenitor, not a person. So there's certainly some scholars who
right here.
But there was another one I was actually just reading and I got distracted. But where did it go? The one where KB says, so now the divinely inspired word, that one.
Well, it needs editing.
Yeah. So I don't know. So I guess I would wonder what you're talking about. So maybe you can clarify the question. If I could try to sort of preempt it, any of y'all can, you know, come and correct me if I'm wrong, whatever. But you're talking about needing editing and correction, that sort of thing. The sort of general Christian view, at least as far as I'm aware, at least the general one, over here in the West especially, is that it's the original autographs themselves that were expired. The things that come after that are imperfect copies. And so you might have had a scribal error or something like that. Somebody might have been a movable nu that was somewhere in there. And I know, because you're commenting, I know you know what a movable nu is. You know, there could have been, you know, any number of issues that a copyist might have made. You had some instances where notes that were in the margin ended up being copied into the manuscripts, the later manuscripts, on accident. And then so those things were taken out. But it's typically about the original autographs, not particular copies later, unless you're talking about mostly like King James Onlyists, you know, where they're going to talk about King James version of the Bible. But most of the time, that's about original autographs. So maybe you clarify your question. But as it stands, what I believe myself as a Christian, let me just speak for me, is that the original autographs themselves were inspired. What happened later were, you know, these were copyings, but the original Greek and the original Hebrew text written by the hands of the original authors themselves, you know, by those folks who were carried along by the Holy Spirit, that's you know, that's what we get back to.
Right. And Leon, and there's no point of you and I disagreeing, because this would go over their head, right? Mm-hmm. But Leandre, are you a Calvinist, bro? Let me get my own
absolutely
yes or no to that. Okay. Leandre is a Calvinist, right? And me as a Christian and DeAndre as a Christian, I don't agree with Calvinism on a. It's like a small, tiny argument. You know what I'm saying, in Christianity, right? But the way that he explained that would be the same way that I would explain that, even if y'all understood the differences that we would have in Christianity. DeAndre, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So it's like it can be nuanced in some of the answers to y'all questions, right? But if you understand biblical text, and the biblical literature and all that, and if you honestly seeking it, right, it's different levels to it. But no matter what level that you're on, it's certain things that are just understood generally, to where it's like, this is the fact of it. So when we meet people like the people that we meet in the conscious community, and y'all say all the things that y'all say about the Bible, or y'all arguments or things that are nuanced about the arguments that y'all make, it, man, at the common denominator, we talk for the last 20 minutes or whatever. It's been like about Sabia, right? And man, bro, I don't really want to do that, but I'm gonna do it.
Hey, my bad, man. I ain't mean to get
my
into
bad.
To
my bad, DMG. You know how we're going with it.
You know, all that. It killed me when cats
y'all ain't worth it, bro.
Saying my name, right. I can't believe that a person that literally can't lift a wet rag to wipe their ass would call somebody a weakling. It's amazing to me, man. But anyway, let me read this because I ain't wanna ignore my sister Neo. So Genesis 24 through 27, and either one of y'all can take it. So Noah awoke from his wine and knew that what his younger son had done to him. Then he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants. He shall be to his brethren." And he said, "Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. May God enlarge Japheth, and may he dwell in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant."
Is there a specific question that's tied with this, or like?
She said address Genesis 9:24 through 27.
Yeah. So one of the things that happened, like with me, and I'll go ahead and do this because this happens all the time. So I took a class with a scholar on Genesis, a Genesis scholar. One of the things that happens here in this particular text is that lots of commentators and scholars on this particular text talk about the fact that what ended up happening with the statement about the curse be Ham sort of thing, or the curse be Canaan because of Ham, that most of the interpretation, the understanding where people then turn that into like being a curse for black folk is misguided, and it came actually from Islam. It came from Muslims who were editing Jewish texts later on, some thousands of years after the time of Christ, even because the Muslims didn't come around until 632 AD, and so this would have happened some 500-600 years even after the coming of the arrival of Muhammad. So that understanding is not the one we're going to be going with in the text. The more ancient understanding of this particular text is that the line about Ham and Canaan would have been something that happened a few decades after the landing of the ark. And so this would have been an observation of particular characteristics of a particular family because they had similar characteristics that were leading them into trouble. This was not some curse for black folks in general. Or anything like that, if that's the direction you're going. So that's the explanation of the text without knowing the purpose of it, but I'm sort of guessing.
Yeah, I would only add that while there are various interpretations of the text throughout biblical theological history, what is true is that there's no interpretation that this curse of Canaan is applied to black people. The transatlantic slave trade, anything whatsoever. Most people attribute it to the things that ends up happening during the time of Moses and then the Joshua conquest. A lot of it's being fulfilled, but again, that has no bearing on and I'm assuming that's what Neo was referring to, the curse of Ham, which is actually the curse of Canaan, which again, this has nothing to do with West Central African people at all. So I don't really know why that continues to be brought up.
And again, and on that note, like, right, so I pulled a verse up to look at it too, and you know, and the thing about it is that Black folk will recognize being from places far more than Canaan was a specific region. It denoted, you know, a couple groups of people, not all of them in general, and not even talk about the people on the complete other side of this continent over here. And so, like, so if that's the direction of the question is going, that's why I guess I wanted to know the purpose of the question. Canaan, when you look at, you know, in the eyes of the people who would have been reading this originally, the people who would have been writing this, Canaan was a specific region that has nothing to do with the group of people that were over there.
I was about to ask y'all. Now y'all know. Listen, I got a GED. I got slow gases. Now I'm not so slow that I can't get in the shower every day and bathe like some people that we know, but I am slow in that I may not be as astute as some of y'all. Ain't like Canaan ain't Africa, is it?
No, shoot. In large part, Canaan has to do with the land that was there when they went in and occupied. You know, that they went and took the land from. So
ain't that right? Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out, why do people apply because Canaan is where the Israelites go in and take the Canaanites, or that ain't us. That ain't us in no way, shape, or form, is it?
DMG, I'll do you one better. It logically doesn't make sense, because if you want to even do it from a phenotypical standpoint of the sons of Ham, right? Just we talking about, you know, the regions that these sons of Ham went to. Phenotypically, we would have at least cut from a skin tone wise look closer to Cush. We would have looked, you know, because of our more darker skin tone. So it would have been more. You would have had a better argument saying we called them the curse of Cush. But in the land of Canaan, Mizraim, and Put for that matter, they typically have a skin tone more akin to Leandre than yourself. You go a little bit, you know, you go a little bit darker. They look, I mean, a little bit lower in the equator. Cush, they look more, you know, more at least skin tone wise. I'm not talking about phenotypically, but skin tone wise, they look toward you. So it actually would have been a better argument. Even though it's still fallacious, but to say, you know, the curse of Cush, but there is no curse of Cush. So it's like you're using a people group that don't even, from a skin tone, let alone regional standpoint, we're the further out of the sons of Ham. The West Africa is the furthest away from Canaan. Like you got to go through 3 other sons' territory before you even get to Canaan, if you're from West Africa and vice versa. So it's just kind of weird that you skip Put. You skip Mizraim, and you skip Cush, and you go to Canaan to equate West and Central Africans. It's kind of weird.
Yes. See, this gets into, and you know, and I ain't gonna do it to him, but you know, it gets into, you know, some logical fallacies, right? Just some issues with the logical order, right? And so let's say all Canaanites are Hamites, right? Is it also true that all Hamites are Canaanites? Well, no, it's not, because as Byron is talking about. What about the Cushites, Mizraim? What about Put? So you say, well, let's say it says curse be Canaan. What does that have to do with the other descendants of Ham? Because what the text is specifically saying is you know, it's curse be Canaan. Again, this is something particular later about a particular group and family, at least with some of the scholar stuff that I've read. And so what does it have to do with the other groups of people, and you know, or the other people that's on the continent? This is one specific family there that they're talking about. So I don't know. And again, and those people aren't over there. They were the people expelled from the land when they got over. So I don't know. Y'all can help me out with it.
Yeah, I was just curious, because I always thought that when, like, Joshua's conquest sort of settled the whole Canaan issue. I didn't know that was. I always get confused when people say that has something to do with us, because.
DMG, can you pull up Neo's next comment? Because this is something about the name versus the country or whatever, or the land or something like that.
Okay, I think that's
because this goes into, and again, Neo, no, I'm not disrespecting your intelligence here, But this goes into when you try to do biblical scholarship without understanding what actually is talking about. So, yeah, when you talk about a country in Canaan, if you understand the names, especially in Genesis, the names and the land thereof, this is a ancient Near Eastern and African custom, mind you, that the progenitor son or progenitor patriarch of that region, that area, typically are one and the same. So Mizraim being the son is also gives the name of the land we call Kemet, Egypt, or whatever. Put being the land that we would call Libya, Kush, where we get Kush from, but Sudan, Nubia, etc., etc. So when we talk about name, again, you talk about Genesis, the name of the sons and the country or the region of the land, those things are going the same. I'm not going to say country because they weren't talking about countries, but we're talking about the region of the land. That those things are one and the same, and that's a tenet of biblical scholarship, especially in Genesis when you're talking about the land and the name. Ancient Israel being named after Israel, right? Excuse me.
Hey, sis had me think I was tripping for a minute. I was like, damn, am I tripping? But okay, I'm glad you explained it, because I was like, wait a minute, maybe I'm tripping.
So and to give honorific transposition is the term for what's going on here. So like you look at the genealogies, even sometimes when these names, honorific transposition is what's going on here when you start seeing these things. So said nobody said about a country called Canaan. I said a person named Canaan. But then the very next comment after that, she put, where did she put? Where'd she go? Nobody said about a country called Canaan. I said a person named Canaan. And then she says, again, my question is why the Bible is cursing a group of people. So are you talking about a single person or a group of people? Because those seem to be at odds. Again, so my reading of it is that he's talking about a specific family that's there. Again, not all Hamites, because not all Canaanites. Well, all Canaanites are Hamites, but not all Hamites are Canaanites. And so there's a logical issue here. But
yeah, with that. So check it out, fellas. I got to get up in like 4 hours. So I'm going to go up here and try to give me some shout out. Y'all cool to keep rocking if nobody want to keep it going. But yeah, I want to close out by saying this. I still want people to kind of to at least attempt to show me where I was telling lies. The Black conscious community started by Stephen Bantu Biko, started in the Anglican Church.
Hey, come on. And where? What country was it?
Again, started in the Anglican Church. So now I want people to y'all owe y'all name to the Christian church.
Come on.
So like talk black to me. Like so now show the Pan-African movement that everybody want to be anti-African with, but I want y'all to show me a founding Pan-African who was anti-Christian. Stop playing with me. So when we start talking about these things, y'all got to make this stuff make sense to the kid. Again, I got slow gases, so I'm willing to learn. So again, the Black conscious community was started in a Black Anglican church. I want y'all to sit with that. That's a fact. Ain't no getting around it. Ain't no like Black is Beautiful was started by a Christian man who gave his life trying to liberate his people from apartheid. Just let that sink in. And so again, Pan-Africanism, Christians. Black conscious movement, Christians. I don't know where this division and this hatred started. I think y'all start picking up on these white supremacist narratives and start running with them. Maybe white people don't want y'all to be Christians. Maybe it's the white folks, the same racist white folks that y'all mad at for enslaving your ancestors. Maybe they the ones that don't want y'all to be Christians. Maybe. But again, you ain't got to believe in Christianity. I don't care what you believe. It don't make me no never mind. Just don't come with no ahistorical rhetoric. If you're going to talk history, talk real history. That's all. Don't say my ancestors was fools for believing what they believed when you wouldn't be able to get your dusty ass up here and say the crazy stuff you say if they wouldn't have put down the demonstration they put down. Because I didn't see too many people in the civil rights movement talking that goofy stuff you talking. Sabio, I'm talking to you. I ain't see too many people in the civil rights movement talking that nonsense you talking. They was
whether Christians or not.
They was meeting at the church.
Yeah, whether Christians or not.
Whether they was Christian or not. That's why I said believe what you want to believe. Just be accurate with your facts.
Come on.
That's all. That's all I ask. Like I ain't mad at nobody for what you believe. Like I ain't got no issue with it. All I'm saying is be accurate with the facts. If my ancestors was fools, they had to be the most brilliant fools ever. Fools need a whole different. If my ancestors was fools for being Christians, the word fool need a whole new definition.
And you always.
If my ancestors was fools and you a scholar, those definitions need to be flipped. Everybody in the chat. If my ancestors was fools for being Christians and Sabio Robinson is a scholar, he says he's a scholar and a historian. If my ancestors was fools for being Christians, if black people today, I'm talking about good, honest, hardworking black people like B. Watch, like nobody, like my wife, that give all the credit to God for the accomplishments they made. If they fools for being Christians and a Sabio is a historian and a scholar, those definitions need to be flipped.
Yeah. A historian and a scholar and the best researcher since Dr. Reggie, according to my brother who was trying to help him out.
I didn't know you could be a historian or a scholar with a make-believe associate degree from a community college.
Ain't no hate. But you ain't no scholar. Not with that.
Ain't no hate. Get your education. However you got to get.
I ain't got that. I ain't went to an online. I got a
GED. I don't call myself no scholar.
Yeah, I don't. I ain't got no Africanist studies scholar.
Look. I remember Byron. Do you remember y'all was having a conversation about African Christianity, and my man started talking about the Ottoman Empire?
Yep.
Man, Byron talked about that.
That's when I closed my book. I was like, I don't think this ain't gonna work.
my man Lone Wolf say Sabio is obsessed with the Ottoman Empire. Everybody know my man Stilo.
No, I want to say this one thing. If it's one, bro, Byron, man, say all of us have our qualities, right? But when it comes to Africa and how it historically relates to the biblical text, man, I ain't found nobody better than Byron, bro. And we talk, but we don't talk all the time, right? But just the times that we have talked, and me knowing all y'all that he have talked to and us, man, say Sabio coming to Byron about Africa.
Like it ain't a whole lot of people. It ain't a whole lot of people that I know, and I consider
roll the dice on Byron, bro. I roll the dice on Byron.
Myself astute on African history,
on
right?
But
you know, Byron didn't taught me some things. So when it come to African history,
I know that. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's like, hey man, y'all better leave Byron alone,
bro. Leave it alone. Leave it alone, bro.
Is a Harvard fellow, and I remember I'm bragging on Byron and I'm bragging on my wife, and
come on,
I'm talking about her bachelor's and her master's, and she working on her doctorate, and Byron is a Harvard fellow, and and my man say I got a degree, and I'm like, all right. And I'm like, what's your degree? I got an associate's from Forest Park Community College. Wait a minute, man. I just said my wife got a bachelor's and a master's and she working on her doctorate. I said Byron was a Harvard fellow and you just said you got a associate's degree. I don't talk about my GED when people be talking about they graduated from college.
No, wait. And I told him after you said that to him, I told him, Sabio, my oldest daughter, got an associate's degree after she graduated high school.
With her diploma.
Like she graduated high school with a high school diploma with an associate's degree. Like what are you talking about?
Bruh, like I just need the foolishness to stop, man.
Stop,
I just need the foolishness to stop. Like, stop deluding yourself, man. Go back to school and get a real education, man. Like, just be real about it. But stop making stuff up, man.
No,
stop talking to me about white Jesus and then busting out with white scholars.
See? And I ain't even hating where you at, because whatever you say you got from a community college or whatever, I don't even have that. But you having that make people who have credentials look bad, bro.
Nah,
I'm saying, no, don't get me wrong. He ain't got no credentials, but I'm saying you make people who, like me, he have more of a academic credentials on paper than me, but and even than you, DMG, I'm in that category. But if you were to look up who's saying what, for example, Richard Carrier have more of an academic degree than all of us. But in the area of if Jesus existed compared to all the PhD scholars, he a fringe writer. He a far. Sabio, you that minus 100. That's what I'm saying.
Look, all I'm saying, bro. All I'm saying, bro. This all I'm saying. Listen. Believe whatever you want to believe about whatever you want to believe. Just come with facts and put some respect on my ancestors' names.
Yeah, and don't test Byron on the African stuff.
Yeah, like just like what the movie say. A man's got to know his limitations. And listen, if you can't take a bath,
come on, dude.
Like no. All jokes aside.
Go ahead.
If you ain't washed your locks in 6 months, huh? Like, bruh.
Hold up. And before anybody say, well, DMG don't know because he a bald head, I got long hair. Go ahead, DMG.
Look.
Listen. Byron got long hair. Go ahead.
If you legit smiling on pictures, but your locks is matted, you got bigger problems to worry about than whether Christianity is real or not. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you got bigger problems to worry about. So get your priorities straight.
And as you know, I do my best to try to treat everybody with humility and respect, deserve stuff like that. And there's only one time that I was on your show, DMG, because my name got mentioned as a parody, against the aforementioned person that you were talking about, and I was dead serious. And I'm like, hey, bro, like I don't, that's not me. I don't poke fun at you or anything like that. But I saw what he did today. I noticed I'm not gonna take that same route again, but it's all I'm gonna say is don't be like the Japanese in Pearl Harbor. What did it say after they did Pearl Harbor? I'm afraid that we have woken up a dragon. Don't wake up the dragon. Just stay with, just be cool. Don't wake up the dragon, bro.
Don't do it.
Take the L.
Don't y'all don't know these people, bro.
That tree will fall on you, boy.
They don't know these people. DMG. Somebody called this whole thing the super team. You've never heard that from a conscious community person bro, y'all do. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about Byron. I'm talking about Leandre. Bro, I'm talking about Walter. I'm talking about Jerome. I'm talking about Pastor bro. What are they talking about, bro? I'm talking about what subject? In whatever subject. Bro, come on, man. Christian men are weak. Is DMG weak? Is Byron weak? Is Leandre weak? Am I weak? Christian men don't know what they talking about. They ain't in the church. All these people weak. All you meet is weak men who controlled by any and everything. They believe in white Jesus. They stuck under white supremacy. Burn the Bible. All you black men, y'all don't know what y'all, bro. I ain't no gambler, man, bro. I don't gamble at all, bro. I'm willing to put my money on people like Byron, like DMG, like Leandre, on myself, Pastor Trey, Walter, Jerome, bro. Come on, man. I'm talking about just on historical facts when it comes to the church, when it comes to history or whatever. Man, let's just be honest, man.
I gotta apologize to my boy, to my man Trey Williams, because I said I wasn't gonna mess with the little dude, but he came in here barking. And again, like, bruh, like, take the L, because I didn't mention your name. Like, just take the L.
Let Bobby get his out there.
Go
ahead, B. My bad.
I don't know what's the definition of weak men, because every man, including BK on this channel that came in tonight, are fathers,
right?
Are husbands,
right?
Take care of their business, wake up every day to go to work. None of us feel like going to that job or clocking in, but we just take care of our families. Last time I checked, and all of us got our own backgrounds that, you know, it is what it is, but we don't bring it out there. So I'm just trying to say, like, you know, to associate, you know, at least the 4 or 5 men that was on this channel is weak, when, you know, as DMG stated a couple of days ago, we look at the resumes of what's weak. You know, I got my house, I got my lovely queen, my kids. They got regular dental appointments, doctor's appointments. They bathe every night.
Come on.
Make sure they clean.
Come on.
Cars are good. Gas, if something wrong, we take it to the shop, get it taken.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go, bro.
What we talking about, man? Like,
let's go, bro.
Hotel Black Line Supreme. Like, look, like what we talk. Like, man, when a man, a grown man, come in here talking about somebody weak or weakling, and you literally smiling in the picture, and I can see the dirt on your face. You gotta be like, bruh, come on, man. You ain't where you at in life as a 40-plus-year-old man ain't conducive for you to even come to a man like me like that. It's not. It ain't conducive for you to come to BK, Leandre, Byron, nobody. Because we all taking care of our responsibilities while you sitting on your mama couch. So all that weak stuff, like, watch your words, my G. That's what the little dude got to learn. Like, all the Christian, you don't believe in Christianity, all that's fine. Like, nigga, I don't care what you believe.
Yeah, we don't care. We don't care about that. Don't lie though. Don't lie on us.
Yeah. You good. Believe what you want to believe, because I done established already that you an idiot. But when you come in here with these words, retard, weakling, and all of that, nigga, you couldn't lace my boots.
On the good day.
Nigga, my son's 16 and you can't lace his boots.
My daughter 19, you couldn't lace her boots. Nigga.
Like what we talking about? Stop playing yourself. For real. Cause it get old quick. And I ain't got the bandwidth to have the patience for a grown nigga talking crazy to me. And you live with your mama. I've been on my own since I was 18 years old. I bought my first house at 19. And a nigga that lived with his mama in his 40s think he can talk to me? Stop it. Nigga, go. Hey, man.
Listen. Bro, that's what I'm saying. I got my baby girl, bro. You ain't never had to live that life. You ain't never had to wake up 2, 3 in the morning because your child screaming hurt. They sick. And you know you got to be at work in 2 hours and you get no sleep, but it don't matter because you got to take care of your kids, or you got to stay up and make sure that everything good, or you got to go without so they can go with. Like, bro, don't.
Y'all ain't doing that because y'all have a moral standard and y'all believe in Christ. Y'all doing that because any man would do that.
But here's the thing: the man said because we believers,
we weak.
We weaklings.
And why ain't he doing it? Hello. Why ain't he doing it then?
He qualified that.
Right. Bro, so why ain't he doing it?
2 nights ago, bro, I got 1 hour of sleep. You know why? Because I got a 3-month-old and I got a 3-year-old. Both of them woke up and like cutting up. and I had to be at work in the morning. Guess what I had to do? I had to suck it up. My queen sleep.
Byron. You can be a deadbeat though, bro. You can say, man, I just sucked it up this time when I had this child. I sucked it up this time when I had this other child. Man, now I got a 3-month-old. I'm tired of sucking it up. I'm gonna just be a deadbeat now. Why didn't you suck it up, Byron? Is one reason? I ain't saying the only reason. Is one reason because you have a moral standard that comes from the word of God, bro? Is that at least one of the reasons, bro?
Husband and one wife, father of his children, bro. Take care of your household. But again, being called, being, and I understand DMG's pain. Like somebody calling me weakling.
What?
Like, but you know the stuff I gotta do. I gotta wake up and deal with every day. Have you ever made a mortgage payment? Do you know what an interest rate is? Have you ever refinanced a home?
Come on now.
Do you know what that's like?
Have you ever paid a car note, nigga?
Come on now. Come on now. Now let me go a step further. Hold up. Let me go a step further. If you want to call anybody a weakling, right? We all are weaklings in this concept. Who could have died on the cross for our sins? I couldn't have did it. DMG couldn't have did it. Byron couldn't have did it. So Christ was the ultimate person that you couldn't call a weakling. But y'all don't believe in this dude, and he had everything against him. But y'all coming up with all this pseudo BS to act like a person shouldn't believe in Christ when the ultimate unweakling was Christ, man.
Bro, and y'all,
he died for you. He died for me. He died for everybody who listening right now, bro. And I always say I call myself nobody because it ain't even about me. It's about Christ, bro. And if y'all don't understand why, then y'all done missed the whole boat, man. You done missed the whole boat. Go ahead, bro.
In conjunction with DMG said, I just pulled up because he said it earlier. Like, man, I ain't watching this movie in a minute. I'm watching the Nat Turner movie by Nate Parker again.
I saw that.
That man a weakling. That man.
He a
told them people, you preach the wrong God, and he rebelled. And what did they do? They didn't just kill him. They hung him, cut him up, distribute his body parts like it was some type of souvenir. His penile parts going to, I'm being real, his genitals going all, but he was a weakling, right?
Come on.
He stood up against something, knowing that he can get killed. And countless of people, my ancestors hanging on trees with a Bible in their right hand, and looking at people on fire, bro. Burning. But they weaklings
for the Bible. Come on, bro.
No. Our ancestors was fools.
They were fools.
We retarded and weak.
Yeah.
They fools. I'm sorry.
To follow what, DMG? To follow what? To follow what?
Hey, man, listen. Let me say this, man, and I'm gonna go ahead and close this thing. Let y'all close.
So going back to Kenneth.
I didn't even intend on dressing little dust mop or you know what they call the little dude from Charlie Brown, dirt demon or whatever you call him. I wouldn't even I'm gonna start calling him the Predator with them matted locks. But look, I wasn't even planning on addressing dude. I was gonna let him live. That's why I said let the little dude comment. At the end of the day, you gotta come with the insults because you don't know how to. This is how you know he a kid, and we should have been known he was a kid because his mama was yelling at him live on this show.
At 40 years old,
you don't know how to talk. Grown men know how to talk to grown men, and they know. When they don't talk to him in a particular manner, it's like that. And so my brother Rocky say we ain't got to keep it going, but I do because again, the nigga don't know how to talk to grown men. Like nigga, I never did nothing but show the nigga respect. I kept these niggas. I kept these brothers.
Yes.
From going further, from not going further than they wanted to. And
every last one of us have a story.
Go
ahead.
For this dusty, dirty, unhygienic piece of shit to think he can call me a weakling, it irritates me to no end. But again,
Byron, wasn't it over a year? Probably over a year and a half, maybe 2 years, when you know, when you knew I was on Paradigm Shift, and you know, I had a little bit of control, and then you came to me like, bro, this dude here acting A, B, and C, and I was like, hey, Byron, just chill, bro. Just come on, bro. Just chill, bro. Is that true or not, Byron?
100% facts.
Come on, man. And I'm saying in that same way, my brother DMG came to me when I wanted to go off on you and include everybody else who I consider in the one to calm down on you, bro. Bro, don't come at my brother like this when he done saved you hundreds of times for us to be cordial with you, bro.
What's funny is I was the nigga brother until I said I was a Christian. And so
that flipped the whole script. The whole script flipped, bro.
So he want to talk about being a weakling. He's so weak. Now, Black Lion ain't got no problem.
Before you get on Black Lion
Real quick.
Go ahead.
Black Lion ain't got no issue. Nigga, I could have said I was a Muslim or a Hindu. If me and Black Lion rock, we rock. But this weak nigga was so ass hurt about what I said I believe, he started acting crazy. And I still was like trying to be the man brother until I couldn't be no more. So all I'm saying is, I know it's getting redundant with the back and forth, but I tried.
You addressed it, bro. All you did was address it, bro.
But this weakling stuff, that nigga got to learn how to talk to men, because somebody gonna slap the dirt off his face.
Nah, bro. Everything you said was 100% facts, bro. Now, the title of the show, tell them when he's lying.
When I'm telling lies.
Tell them.
That's all I'm saying. Like, listen, again, just to recap, the Black conscious community, the Black conscious movement started by Steve Biko, started in the Anglican Church.
Right.
That's facts.
Facts.
The Pan-African movement, which is largely an anti-Christian movement today, was founded by Christians.
Facts.
That's facts. The conscious community and other Black Christians, or other Black non-Christians, I should say, have to learn to understand the difference between a doctrine being used and co-opted and used for the suppression and oppression of a people, right, under false pretenses, i.e. the slave Bible, and what that doctrine actually means. In other words, if the Bible and Christianity is actually a white supremacist doctrine, they wouldn't have had to create the slave Bible. They could have just used the Bible. That's just common sense.
Common sense and facts.
You ain't got to alter a book if the book is already what y'all saying it is. They wouldn't have had to alter it.
Bro.
They could have just used it as is. And I got a GED. So if I can understand that, y'all should be able to understand that.
What's less than 1 + 1, DMG? I'm just like, I don't know, like if it's for somebody to understand as a human, 1 + 1 make 2. What you just said, what's less than that? Like, come on, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying. So can we stop trying to put, like, superimpose white supremacy over the doctrine and start putting it where it belongs, on the people who actually committed the acts? Because again, if Christianity is a white supremacist doctrine, explain to me why the white people who were abolitionists was fighting to free our ancestors. Because if it was a white supremacist doctrine, wouldn't they have been fighting to keep our ancestors enslaved?
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
tell me when I'm telling lies.
And I want to be clear here. DMG was saying this before his conversion. He was saying this.
Say that one more time, Byron. So the people, so the dusty niggas.
That's
in the
what I was going to say. Go ahead, Byron.
He was saying this before his conversion, and he's not the only well, at the time, he wasn't the only non-Christian saying the same thing. And again, none of this, what we're saying here is something that makes you have to convert to Christianity. He's
Come
just
on.
literally spitting facts on
Come
facts
on,
and
Byron.
putting things in their proper place. That's all he's doing right now.
DMG.
Neo,
Wait.
no, real
DMG.
quick.
Wait.
I gotta address this, bro.
I know. Hold on. Before we go in there.
Sid, hold on, bro. No.
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
I love you, sis. You just
I
said
love
the KKK and Nazis are Christians too. That is a
No,
lie.
That's a lie.
So
It's a lie.
That's just like the cat at home sitting on his couch playing video games, and because he got on red and he's saying he a blood, but he ain't out there actually putting in work as a blood, he perpetrating a fraud. And that's exactly what they were doing. Because see, saying you a Christian and being a Christian and acting accordingly is two different things. So if I put Hitler next to Martin Luther King Jr.,
Mother Teresa,
or next to Phyllis Wheatley,
Mother Teresa,
I'm talking about black people.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah. No. If I put her next to Martin Delaney, if I put Hitler next to any of these people,
put him next to your grandmother, DMG.
Yeah, if I put him next to my granny,
come on, Byron.
Is he gonna stack up to these people, to these black people, as a Christian? Because last I checked, that nigga killed 6 million people.
But all the way, DMG, according to what though? Your standards, my standards, or Byron standards? According to what? If you're a Christian,
Bible.
Let's go. Go ahead, bro. Let's go.
So all I'm saying is a nigga can make his mouth say he anything. But a nigga can say he faithful to his wife. But if he banging every chick at the job,
come on,
is he faithful?
Come on.
A nigga can say he a good husband, but if he's slapping the shit out of his wife and his kids, is he a good husband? So I don't want to hear what they said they was. I'm talking about what they actually was. We gotta stop. We gotta stop playing. We playing.
I'm 21 years in this thing as a good husband. DMG, how many years you in this thing as a good husband?
As a good husband?
Yeah.
Because see, I'm gonna be honest.
No, I'm just saying. Give me the number. Give me the number. The number. Don't explain. Give me a number.
As a good husband.
Give me a number.
14.
Byron, how long you been in this thing as a good husband?
Just celebrated number 8 on Tuesday. 8 years.
Like, come, bro. I know dudes who can't go 6 months.
Neo, you know that's a lie. I can say I believe Jesus died for my sins, but if I continue to sin, what difference is that gonna make?
Come on, DMG.
Let me ask you something.
Come on, Pastor. Come on, Pastor.
ATL, and I'm using this on purpose. If you're an ATL and you swear you like women, right?
And being a Christian got everything to do with their behavior. If you don't act according to the way a Christian is supposed to act, according to the gospel,
the text.
DNG, I'm gonna do you one better. If you an ATL, and I'm using ATL on purpose.
Byron, where you stay at, Byron? Where you stay at, Byron?
You an ATL. You swear you love in Atlanta, Georgia, and you swear you love women. You a black man, and every time you get caught up in the Motel 6, 7, or 8 with another man's in them.
But I'm a Christian.
I'm supposed to believe you.
Where you stay at, Byron? Where you stay at, Byron? Byron, where you stay at? Where you stay at, Byron?
I'm in Louis.
Where you at, DMG?
I'm in the Show Me State.
St. Louis. I'm in Texas. On this particular topic, all of us stay in 3 different states, and we all coming to the same conclusion, bro. I agree with everything Byron just said. You claiming to be this or be that, and I show up to you and you like this or like that, which was a branch off of what DMG said. We all agree with that. And all 3 of us got different upbringings. Hold up. All 3 of us got different upbringings. DMG got his.
I'm gonna call my sister Neo capping right now, because she know I always say when we talk about homosexuality, I always say let gay people be gay.
Let them do what they do. I say that too.
Don't I always say this to you, nobody.
Yes,
I don't want my daughter, my niece, my aunt, whoever. I don't want them marrying a man who claiming to be a straight man, and then he end up years later deciding he really want to be who he is, right? And breaking her heart. His kids don't understand. She don't understand. She got insecurity issues because he didn't told her he want to be with a man. People pretend to be things they not all the time.
All the time.
So people can say I'm a Christian and not be a Christian.
There we go. Vice versa. Come on, D.
For a fact.
Come on, D. Come on, D.
It got everything to do with your behavior.
Come on, D. Now, D. Hello, D.
I believe Jesus died for my sins, but if I don't repent, then what difference do it make?
Now, D.
If
am I part of the LGBT community? If DMG, based on what you just said, right? Am I a part of the LGBT community if I don't fit the standards of the LG? If I'm a faithful husband and I'm faithful to, you know what I'm saying, to my wife, all this and that, and I don't fit the LGBT community, should an LGBT member be able to say, hey, I see what you're saying, I see what you're doing, but you know, and I ain't knocking it, but you're not a part of our community. We saying the same thing when it comes to the Bible, man. Y'all just don't understand where it's like y'all want to say y'all want to say, well, this person is a Christian, this person a Christian, that person a Christian, even though the Bible sets the standard for what a Christian is, right? But y'all can set the standard on who's a member of the LGBT community, and y'all don't even have a doctrine. Go ahead, dude.
Look, I got to get ready to get out of here because I told y'all I got to be up in 4 hours. But let me address my sister Neo real quick. She said, "Hold on, I had it up. Somebody keep trying to control my panel. I don't know who the hell that is. I know who it is.
Oh no, yeah, my bad. What is that?
Nice, DMG, nice speech, bro. But the Bible says it's about faith, not about your behavior. It also say faith without works."
And let me add to that, DMG.
Hey, one of y'all finish that for me. Faith.
It's like DMG, nice speech, bro. But the Bible says it's about faith, not about your behavior.
Not only is faith without works is dead, but when the Bible talks about faith, it's talking about a living and active faith. You look at the Greek and the Hebrew, in both terms for faith, it is not talking about some mental assent.
Byron, before you get to explain, Byron. Wait, DMG, Byron. Before you get to explaining, faith in what?
Faith in Christ.
There you go. Now go. We ain't talking about no horoscopes. We ain't talking about no horoscopes.
Bro got too excited. But last thing I want to address is my brother Black Lion say, what is a Christian? Now, Byron, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought a Christian was somebody who was seeking to perpetually be in a state of being like Christ. Yep. Again, seeking to, because we know that that's not something that we could actually attain, but you seeking to. So that's what I thought. Now, if that's not the case, correct me. But so
it's an already but not yet. It is a disciple. It is seeking to follow Christ, follow perfection, the perfection of Christ. Even though you can't attain it, it's still not an excuse to say because I cannot obtain it, I get to do whatever I want to do. Like, no, you still have responsibility because again, the whole doctrine is one day that we will be unified, and we all of us, Christian, non-Christian, living or dead, will be judged based off our faiths and works. And again, faith, I'm talking about a living, active faith. It is not something just that I just mentally believe. It is something that your actions, your thoughts, your emotions, your being is all aligned with that certain thing.
Okay,
if I burn crosses in people's yard and kill 6 million Jews.
There we go. Come on, DMG. There we go.
Am I being like Christ?
Absolutely.
Am I putting the works? Come on, Byron. Answer that, Byron.
What, say it again. I bet.
If me and DMG are claiming to be Christians, but we out in front of your yard burning crosses to the white supremacists, is that a Christian, bro?
No.
Come on, man.
And Alfredo did the BK did the grand opening, grand closing from Frederick Douglass. Anytime somebody got something to say, you want to know what Christianity is it? Just put that Frederick Douglass quote up.
Right, but no, Byron, you just saying that because that's how you feel. That's how you feel.
Oh, okay. So the biblical text in 2,000 plus years.
There we go.
Don't attest to that. They got plenty of people who globally who have claimed themselves to be Christians, and the survey says, nah, y'all, no.
There we go. Bob, I'm going to cut you off, but I said that for Black Lion Supreme. Black Lion Supreme is quick to get in the chat or jump on the panel and talk about Christian dogma. Christian dogma. Well, guess what? Christian dogma has a standard. That standard is the Bible. I can feel how I want to feel. DMG can feel how he want to feel. Bible can feel how he want to feel. The Youngs, right? BK apologists, whoever, right? But guess what? How we know who's correct is based off that so-called dogma.
I'm gonna give the same example again, based off Black Lion Crow. And he says, and those who enslaved our ancestors believed in Jesus, so they were Christians. And no, okay. So
what I've been saying all night, though,
DMG just explained a false crip, a false blood. DMG just explained that like 6 times, bro.
My daughter married this man. My daughter married this man, and believing that he that he likes women and loves her, and then come to find out that he been creeping with other men on the side. So not only was he not committed to her, but he also was not committed to liking women. Ain't nothing against LGBTQ when I say this. I'm saying is that, like DMG just said,
he lied.
You said
he lied. He lied.
That what you say, you can go, oh, but I really still do love my wife and I do love women. But your actions showing that you got Motel 6 receipts with these men every other weekend. So that means, guess what? You actually do not only you may like women and men, but you are not exclusive to women. So again, nothing against that. But what I'm saying is that you can't claim something. You can't claim something. Your actions do something totally different over and over and over. And you just think, well, you know. But I said it.
Barbara, isn't that a hypocrite?
Real quick. To everybody that texts me, I'm just now seeing the text. I apologize to Mika. I apologize to Neo. I just saw it, and I'm getting ready to close out. So I apologize.
Roll out too, fellas. But all I'm gonna say is
to the people who had hit me up. All I want to say is this to my brother Black Lion, who said the people who enslaved our ancestors believed in Christ. The Europeans who enslaved our ancestors said they believed in Christ, right? And the Europeans who opposed them with regards to our ancestors' enslavement also said they believed in Christ. Which one of them better represented what it is to believe in Christ?
Right. And I want to answer to that question.
That's the question.
I want to answer that.
But we can finish this up.
Brother, before we close out, bro. If I could be now, I'm gonna admit if I could be biased for a minute, bro.
Hey, bro, you can go ahead. I just gotta go. But
no, bro. I want to go too, but I want your answer to this real quick. Black Lion Supreme said, "Nobody, you don't act like the example DMG gave, yet you call yourself a Christian." DMG and Byron.
We gotta get that debate back on with you and Black
Lion. I know. But I want to hear this. I want to hear this from two brothers who I consider Christians based off reading the text. DMG and Byron. Would y'all consider me a Christian, bro? Based off everything that y'all know about me, that anybody, not just somebody, anybody in the chat wouldn't even have no clue or knowing. Would y'all two brothers consider me a Christian, bro?
In the words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, can you give me a hell yeah?
Hell yeah!
Come on, DMG. You know, bro. You know, Byron. I'm finna cry over that tonight, bro. Like, come on, DMG. What you say? Based off the text. DMG. No, DMG. I don't want because I'm your little bro. I don't want all the stuff we talk about. I want to hear.
Stop. I already said hell yeah.
No.
I already said hell yeah. I said hell yeah when Byron said in the words of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He couldn't even get it out before I said hell yeah.
Well, let's close out then, big bro. Black Lion, sorry, bro.
But look,
I'm a Christian.
listen. I always and you know I love Black Lion. That's my man,
bro.
But it'd be hard for me to. I don't be understanding when non-Christians feel like they can define what a Christian is, because you don't believe in it. Like it's not even real to you. So you know, I don't trip off of that. I got to get you and Black Lion together for this for that debate though. Is the Black church a product of the European church, and is Christianity part and parcel of the white supremacy? I hope Black Lion still remember. That was damn near 2 years ago, wasn't it?
But almost 2 years ago. And DMG, I know you and Black Lion Supreme talk, and me and Black Lion Supreme talk. Black Lion Supreme, no, I ain't got no animosity towards him. Like, bro, it's all love, bro. Let's get it in, bro. Like, and I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm gonna make you look bad. I'm trying to make you look bad.
Oh wow!
I'm trying to make you look as.
Don't let them talk that talk to you, Black Lion. Black Lion, this real talk.
Don't let me do it.
You the realest cat. You the realest cat in the community, bro.
No, DMG, back for it. DMG, back for this for me.
Don't let them do it.
DMG, vouch for this for me, bro. Out of everybody you've heard me mention,
I saw it. We'll holler at you.
Right. DMG, out of everybody you heard me make fun.
Next month, let's make it happen, man.
That's cool. DMG, I just want you to confirm this, right? Out of everybody you've heard me talk down on or up speak or give whatever opinion that I had on them on, right? You've never heard me wave on Black Lion Supreme, right? No. Number one, right?
Never.
Right? And number two, which is the final thing, right? You've always heard me say Black Lion Supreme is willing to admit when he wrong, bro.
Real talk.
Yeah. So Black Lion, I want you to know.
He say, nobody, I'm going to put you on the cross.
Right. And that's cool. no, bro. And you know that's cool, right? And watch this. He gonna put me on the cross, right? But he ain't gonna talk about my mama, my daddy. He ain't gonna tell me suck no penis. He ain't gonna tell, you know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna say F God, F y'all. But like Black Lion, bro. I know a lot of people, bro.
He ain't gonna call you weak. And
none of that.
Stuff.
None of that, bro. But, none of that.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something that you ain't gonna like, though. Nobody. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna make a suggestion that you ain't gonna like.
What's that?
I think y'all should do it on Chris Harris' platform.
Now, okay. Now watch this, DMG. Based on what you know about me, right? I've never told you that I'm Chris Harris' enemy, right? But I've always told you that I recognize that I'm his, that I'm one of. I ain't gonna say I'm, you know, in our little experience, that I'm one of his enemies, and I go wherever it need to go. Is that true or not?
That's real. That's real. And the reason I say that, Chris platformed and grew, and I know he's looking for debates. I still moderate it, or we can get one of the creators to moderate it. Yeah. But that'll get a lot of eyes on it. We can get y'all cash apps in there. You know what I'm saying?
And I ain't, what I'm gonna say. Hello. After you just said cash apps, what am I gonna say to you, bro? I ain't got to say it. Tell me what I'm gonna say to you.
I already know, man. I already know.
Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't gonna not take the money. I don't do this for the money. I don't care. But go ahead. I don't care.
Nah, I know. And listen, but
let me say this though. I would take the money.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I don't do this for that.
I think that'll be a good look. And Black Lion was supposed to do a debate over there, and Elder Yara flaked. Black Lion put the fear of God in him, and he flaked. So this will be good for Chris. It'll be good for you. Good for Black Lion. I think this could work. So Black Lion say next month I'm gonna holler at Chris, and let's get that on the books, man.
Well, I ain't even worried about when it comes to what we just spoke. I mean, if you want to end the show, we can. But if you want to do it live, because man, you don't hold no punches, bro. We don't hold nothing. I ain't even doing it off Black Lion strength. I'm doing it off your strength, and I'm doing it based off of how smart I think Chris Harris is. If this is something that's beneficial, like, come on, bro. I mean, I ain't got no enemies. You hear me say that, DMG? You hear me tell you all the time, I ain't got no enemies. But you also hear me recognize to you, I ain't dumb. I get who's shooting at me.
Right.
Now, I know me and you, both of us watch wrestling, which a lot of people don't. Finn Balor say if they shoot at the king, they better not what?
They best not miss.
Cause I ain't never came for nobody. Ever since DMG met me, and I can go back in the past. I ain't never came for Kim Rod, this or that, whoever. But when they came for me, DMG. Now, Chris jumped on me for saying, "Oh, you call yourself the Scholar Killer." I ain't give myself that. Who gave me that name, DMG?
Scholar Slayer. I gave you that name.
Scholar Slayer. My bad. Who gave me that?
I did.
Who gave me the name, your urban apologist, favorite urban apologist?
That's me all day. Your favorite urban apologist, favorite urban apologist. Like your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
I know, right. And y'all already know me, bro. I don't big up a lot of people, and the person who I big up the most is my brother. And I've been bigging up my brother, and this is the point I'm trying to make. I've been bigging up my brother when he wasn't a Christian.
That's facts.
Huh?
That's facts.
Huh? I don't switch up. I ain't like Daniel Bryan said, that WWE crowd kind of fickle. They gonna jump on whoever going for the moment. I ain't switched up, at least on my brother.
Yeah. You ain't switch up ever. like somebody
like Sabio.
You know what I mean?
I'm like Sabio. Like, come on, man. Stop playing, bro.
Like, stop playing with me, man. Like,
stop playing, bro. Stop playing. Now we can close out, DMG. Now we can close out.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna close out with this. Sabio, nigga. I showed you respect as a man. I big upped you.
I agree.
I promoted your platform.
I agree.
Nigga, stop playing with me. You want to talk that weak shit? You want to talk all that weird stuff? My nigga, at the end of the day, I already told you. I went out of my way to try to have people take you seriously because people don't. People think you a joke.
I agree.
I wasn't being sarcastic. I wasn't joking. I was dead serious. People think you a joke. You think it's a coincidence that Garfield you talk for 5 minutes or 2 minutes and somebody interrupting you on Garfield channel?
Not Christians.
Because they don't want to hear from you. They don't take you seriously, my dude. So hear me on this. Everything I said to you was facts.
100%.
Instead of trying to fight it, take heed to it. Get off your mama couch. Wash your face and your butt. Get out, get up, and go get something. Instead of pretending to be something you're not. You're not a scholar.
You're not.
You ain't. You a lackey. I shouldn't have never gave you a platform, but I did because a real nigga wouldn't have cared what I believe if you was actually my brother. We'll still be brothers, but you couldn't help but take your little pot shots because you actually the one that's weak. Christianity got you on your knees, nigga, because anytime somebody mention it, you get in your feelings. I don't care what you believe. Never have, never will. Like people outside of my roof, what they believe don't mean nothing to me. But you was so shook that we couldn't even be homies no more because of what I said I believe. Because you the weak nigga. That's why you let them words fly out your mouth. So for the last time, my dude, keep my name out your mouth. Stop barking up that tree before it fall on you because I already destroyed every ounce of credibility you thought you had. You ain't a scholar. You went to a community college. If you really went to one.
Yeah.
You don't have nothing to offer the community. You live with your mama. Every time I talk to you, you on the bus or the Metro Link. You ain't got no car. Me and my wife gave my 18-year-old daughter an Infinity truck. What you talking about, bruh? Stop playing with me. You came in my chat with all that rah-rah. When nobody tripping off of you. I was trying to let you live, nigga. Keep my name out of your mouth. Mississippi Mud, if you don't like it, kick rocks. Period. Like I ain't here to impress you either.
Nobody. But DMG, who are you here to impress?
Nobody.
When it comes to Christ and making it into heaven,
look,
if there was anybody to impress, I'm asking hypothetically, if there was anybody to impress, bro, isn't it more relevant to impress God? Because watch this, ain't nobody gonna stand in, your wife ain't gonna stand in front of God, your kids ain't gonna stand in front of God, Sabio ain't gonna stand in front of God, I'm not gonna stand in front of God for you, bro. When it comes to a moral standard,
I can't impress God because God already know everything about me. I ain't gotta impress God.
But based off your heart, bro.
And Black Lion, check it out. That's my point, bro. I actually get out in the community and take cats off the block and show them a better way to get some actual legal income.
But do you do that?
You ain't got to sell drugs. Hold on, let me finish talking, bro.
My bad.
You ain't got to sell drugs. You can go get this dealer's license, sell cars from the auction. You can go get a cleaning company, a courier service. You ain't got to be on that block having to watch your back 24/7. This is what I do, right? I actually talk to young men about how to maintain their relationship with their women. Cats straight up come to me for marital advice, relationship advice. I play it for my life experiences, the mistakes I made, I turn into lessons for other people. I don't sit on my mama couch smoking weed and playing video games all day, complaining about a religion that I don't believe in. You see what I mean? And then come talking about what actual real men, what real men who take care of their families. I don't come in talking about they weak when I know I ain't even strong enough to wet a towel and put soap on it and wash my face. I ain't got enough strength to do that. But I'm calling other men who actually going out and handling their business weak. That little dude needs to wake up. You in your 40s, bro. You halfway to 80 years old, and you ain't did nothing with your life.
You ain't got to hang out on the block, sell drugs, sell dope, whatever, in Dallas. You can come to me. I can get you a job. I'm a supervisor at a security job where I work at. I got pool all day, every day. I teach all kind of young black men, black women, white, Chinese, Mexican, whatever denomination you from, man. Because a lot of people go to jail, not just black people. You can come to me. It don't matter if you have a felony. Because I've heard people say, well, hey, man, I got to sell dope because I got a felony, man. Hey, I got to be a cause. I got a felony.
You better stop helping all them white folks and them Mexicans and start helping them black folks, man.
Hey, and guess what? The majority of people who come to my job are black people. And me and DMG is about that. We got a show coming up this Saturday, man, about a man who stays in a place where I work at. And he finna come on this show Saturday. You can ask him all the questions that you want to ask him about me. He know me in real life. In real life. He gonna tell you if you want to ask him whatever. I am who I say I am, bro. He gonna tell you, hey, if you want a job as a security officer, not only I'm a supervisor at the place where I work at, and the majority of people who I train are black men and women who are younger than me. And I ain't trying to brag or do none of this stuff, man. I'm really
right.
I'm really ashamed of this, right? My son had to go to school, to alternative school after school was over because my son broke another person's arm. He ain't black, he Mexican. If we got to get
why you do it though? Why you do it?
He broke this dude's arm in 2 or 3 different places based off of the information that I've shared with my son.
But why nephew do it though?
He did it because this other race said something derogatory about his black mother.
Grand opening, grand closing.
Broke this dude's arm.
Listen.
Like, don't play with me, bro.
Stop thinking you could play with us, man. That's all I got to say. Just stop thinking.
And I ain't even come on this show tonight to address this at all. But DMG, if you would give me leverage, bro, you know how I feel about you. I just want to give leverage on this. Chris Harris, bro, you came on here talking about, not on her, on another platform. Oh, I'm 6'4", and I know this, and I know that, and all this.
Hey, we trying to build with the brother, man. Don't.
Okay, well, my bad. I just want to say that. But long story short, DMG, DMG, I'm gonna take what you said and just make this conclusion, bro. You 6'4", Chris Harris. I'm 6'5". I recognize that based off my height, that don't mean that you can win the fight, bro. So I know that you don't know nothing about fighting. Case closed.
Why you gotta go there, man? And I just said we trying to have a debate with you on Black Line.
No. And Chris, DMG will tell you this because I know y'all have a better relationship than me and you. However you feel about me or anybody else, bro, I'm not tripping. Let's get this business going.
You're a bad person.
Let's get this business going, bro.
I don't think you're a Christian anymore. You're a bad person.
Yeah. I'm a bad person. I'm right. I'm a bad person for saying that. Hey, DMG, based off WWE and the owner of WWE, who would you say I look up to more in my worldview of how I structure certain things? What's his name? VM? What's his name?
Vince McMahon.
Let's go. Hey, I'm all about the business, man.
All right, so look, with that being said, look, I appreciate y'all sticking with us as long as y'all did, because for the last 20 minutes we just been rambling. But with all that being said, I hope from the beginning of the show to where we was keeping it on
the topic.
On topic and putting out actual information, y'all stayed with us and understood that we wasn't telling no lies. We was just saying facts. And before I got sidetracked with my personal beef with the brother, this ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. That's my personal thing. If you want to judge me on it, do so. It is what it is. But again, that's my personal issue, my personal faults, flaws, whatever you want to call it. Again, and I squash it with the brother today, right here, right now, if that's what he want to do. But if he want to keep it going,
already did that. No. You squashed it to the point to where even he knew that he can come in the chat and comment. It's squashed, bro.
So at the end of the day, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Again, tell me where I'm telling lies. That's all I gotta ask.
That's the whole thing.
I ain't say nothing that wouldn't 100% historically factual. So stop playing with me. That's all. Shout out to the big bro, Black Line Supreme. We're going to get that on. I'm going to holler at him tomorrow. We're going to get that on with between him and Nobody. Is the Black Church a product of the European church, and is Christianity part and parcel of white supremacy? We've been trying to put this together for hellas. Shout out to everybody else in the chat. Shout out to my brother Ryan in the chat, the Nerdy Brew. Shout out to my sister Neo. I'm sorry I ain't get your text message. Shout out to Mika. I'm sorry I ain't get your text message. Shout out to Craig in the chat clowning all night. Najiti, that Third Shift Mafia.
We're the ones.
Even Mississippi Mud, even though he was in there talking crazy, don't know nothing about me or my brothers, but just came in talking reckless.
We love
shout
you,
out to Blackologist. Everybody that came in, shout out to y'all. Again, we'll be Black at It. We got a couple of shows actually Saturday. And tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, we got the Godfather of Consciousness, Sonetta, on with the two Craigs going in the Lake of Fire, which is their equivalent to the Hot Seat. Sunday, we're going to try to get Ratchet Craig and Nobody, where Nobody put Ratchet Craig in the Hot Seat, or as he called it, casting into darkness. So with that being said, Paradigm Shift TV 314, we are out. That's peace. Y'all come black.
DMG, I love you, bro.
No doubt. Likewise.
Let's go.